Thanks for the follow, Powerwell. What's up, man? How you doing? We're doing good. We're doing good. So, this Mario Kart, how many players are in this game? Off the top, does anybody remember? How many players? 24, okay. Schmovement! Schmovement! Woo! I popped off at that part. I popped off at that part. Come on now. Come on, flippity flip. GK, you got to get SF6 now. Man, I'm a PC. If I wanted to get SF6, I would have been got SF6. What up, though, Red Riot? What up?
Hello, everyone. I'm
Sonic Racing Cross Worlds died before it released. Yo, that is
I'm the producer for Nintendo Switch 2.
That is definitely something to think about. I didn't even think about that. Sonic Cross Worlds got announced this year, so it's about to have a tough time.
Takuhiro Dota, the director for Nintendo Switch 2.
And I'm Tetsuya Sasaki, the hardware design lead for Nintendo Switch 2.
Wolf, what's up, man?
Mario Kart World, launching exclusively on Nintendo Switch 2. Now, what do you think this brand new Mario Kart game will be like?
Oh yeah, Sonic Cross Worlds is definitely going to be a came and went, Red Riot. Sonic Cross Worlds is definitely going to be a came and went.
Series is launching exclusively on the Nintendo Switch 2 system. Welcome to this vast
So, okay. Let's talk about it. Because first of all, let's get a temperature check. Are we buying Mario Kart Worlds? Neo Galaxy, what's up, man? Are we buying Mario Kart? Let's just get a temperature check right quick. Let's get a temperature check. Nah, unless it's second hand. What up, Emperor? The Dilla, not at launch, but I do want it. Heavy Wings, I'm a Mario Kart head. Yes. Doc Carnero. Chalant 98, only with the bundle, not paying 80 for it separately. Yes, since it's only 50 with the bundle, but by itself, I'm not sure. Right, well, what's up? Kaiser, what's up?
In the Classic Grand Prix, race through 4 courses in a bid for
Dice Bomb, I'm buying it with the bundle because it's like $50.
But don't sleep at the wheel. You'll also drive to the next course as part of the
Phase Journal, what's up? If I can get the bundle, yes, not otherwise. Oh, man. Yeah. I think the bundle, Nintendo was very smart about that. They were very smart about that with adding the bundle with the pricing. Very slick. High key. It looks really good.
There are multiple checkpoints along the way.
Yeah, I agree, Ozzy. Moscola, what's up? Not buying for a while. Only with the bundle. That bundle is about to sell. Nintendo came in clutch with that bundle.
You can also freely drive around this vast world in free roam. By going off-road, you can explore new areas and routes. So drive wherever your heart takes you. You can also go for scenic drives with friends. And even
I wonder what the food item gimmick is. Yeah, me too. This is dope. This is dope. The free roam, that's fire. 88, what's up? I'm excited to see how much customization this game will have. Yeah.
Mario Kart World. The game launches on the same day.
Now this was smart. launch day.
About this title will be shared in an upcoming Mario Kart World.
And we got a direct coming in on the 17th.
Information in the future.
Yeah. Now let's talk about it. Let's talk about it right quick. The pricing situation. What's up, Just Pass? The pricing situation is tough. The pricing situation is definitely tough. But I said this on Twitter. I do think the $80 thing is going to be something that Nintendo just does with the games that they know are going to sell regardless. Mario Kart is a strong IP. Thanks for the follow, Nathaniel. Mario Kart is a very strong IP, and I really think they aren't going to just throw that $80 thing out all willy-nilly. It's not going to be like, oh, every game is $80. Yeah. Like, I know Animal Crossing might be $80, J Boulevard. Yeah, it's for sure case by case. Let me show y'all something right quick, because I got a couple things here that I took note of that I was seeing online. Look at this image of some of the Switch game prices. This is from Australia, right? It's not America, but this is like Australia. We got $104 right here. We got $50 for Donkey Kong, $54 for. Oh, is this Canada? Someone said when I was on Wario 64, he said this was Australia. This is $54 for Bravely Default, and for Street Fighter 6, $74, and $114 for Mario Kart World. Thanks for the sub, Lucid. I appreciate you, man. So let me put this off to the side. Y'all can just reference that like right there. But so I think we are entering back into the old days where the prices for games were all over the place. I don't know if y'all remember back in the day, if you would see those Toys R Us and EB Games ads, and it will be like some games are like $70, some games are $30, I think that's what we're going back to now. That is pretty much what's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be like, oh, thanks for the sub, ZK. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. I don't think it's going to be a situation where everything is going to be 80. But I will say it is still concerning, because I do think now Nintendo is going to kind of push it for games that I don't think they should be pushing it for. So, for example, WarioWare, the floor, right, for their pricing was, I think, 40 or 50 for some of their mid-tier games like WarioWare and Endless Ocean and stuff like that. But now the floor is higher. The floor is going to be 60 now. And I think that is the more concerning part, because I think when they do 80, it's going to be like obvious, like what, but I think the games that are going to be the $60, 65, whatever they do with that is going to be more debatable. It's going to have more contention than like Mario Kart being $80. Most people are going to buy that anyway. So that is kind of the thing that I'm very concerned about. Now, I think Lucario, you wanted to come on? Are you ready to, you got, what do you want to talk about for the direct? Are you in the Discord right now? Okay. I'm going to call you in a bit. Just mute your mic until I get everything ready. But yeah, like, it's tough, man. Kiru say, what's up? How you doing? We got a lot of people here today. Hold up real quick. Wait a minute. Let me put some pimping in it. Then I flip it. All right. Lucario, are you there?
Yes, I am. How you doing? Hope you're
Bro.
doing good. Oh yeah, we can turn on camera. Give me a bit.
Yeah, you
Let
can
me
turn
set
on the
it up
camera
while
if you
we're
want to.
going.
Yeah. But Switch 2 freestyle incoming. Switch 2 freestyle. Games are $80. Everybody in D now. This is just off the top. It's just like
Yeah.
Nah,
So,
I got
first off,
opinions on that. What were you gonna say?
First off, temperature check. How do you feel about the general thing? Do you want to get into it now or later?
What are the main? What is one of the main things you want to? I want to talk about whatever you want to talk about. What are the things about the
Okay.
direct that stood out to you?
Game share is really interesting to me because it's like their new version of download play, but also
Mhm.
works online. So you could theoretically like share one of your copies of like Clubhouse games or
Wait,
Super
hold
Mario
on.
3D.
Game share works online.
Yeah, it works online.
They
If you
said
go to the like we can like if you go ahead and go to like 12 minutes 39 seconds,
yeah.
it'll just say online play of game chat, game share, and it says console of game, console without game. I feel as if that
You can
means
share a
it's
game
just
with up to
online
3 other
multiplayer.
systems at a time.
Nintendo Switch was game share.
GameShare also supports online play with other Switch 2 systems.
Whoa,
And you can use it
I
with
didn't
friends
catch
in
that.
Game, which we showed earlier.
Yeah, I
GameShare can
feel
only
like
be used with
they're
compatible
gonna try to push this. Like, yeah, it'll cost more money, but if you're able to share games like this, then that would help ease the burden a little bit.
No, that
don't
is
know.
interesting. That's crazy. I didn't know. I didn't catch that. That's huge.
Yeah,
Yeah. So game share, yeah, that's definitely huge. Scarecrow, what's up?
Mhm.
So what else? What else for the? So I didn't. I'm glad you pointed that out though.
Yeah, it's like I don't really know of anything else that does download play ever, except
Mhm.
for Joseph Ferris games like It Takes Two, just recently Split Fiction, where it has like the friend pass
Yeah.
that allowed you to play like the co-op game with only one copy. And I think that if they move into this direction for all these multiplayer games, it will be really good. And I don't think it'll work for everything. I think Mario Kart will not
Yeah,
have this.
for sure, for
example.
sure. You're one of my Metroid people, man. What did you
Yeah.
think about that 100 and what did you think about what they showed of Metroid Prime?
I didn't need to see more of it, inherently speaking, but
Yeah.
I am very happy that they confirmed 120 frames a second on the screen itself.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
crazy.
Yeah, it has they didn't say in the direct. On the website, they confirmed a variable refresh rate, aka VRR. So basically,
Oh.
it'll just make it so the game will look smoother, basically.
Yeah. No, yeah. Nah,
So like
that's
if it so if
go
it dips to
on.
like 110 frames a second, you won't see it as easily, etc. Also mouse controls.
Yo, that huge.
Absolutely. Like I'm so excited for that.
Yeah. What was your favorite game from the direct?
It would have to be Donkey Kong, actually. Donkey Kong is really hype. I love the ability just like of terrain destruction. Terrain destruction is really good. We haven't seen it much in general because just in general, I feel it's just because of how lighting works in games that terrain destruction wasn't as like prioritized, because otherwise it'll look kind of rough. But now it's making a comeback, I think.
Nah, for sure, man, for sure. I'm trying to think of what other games I know you play. What among did you see the third party slide? You remember when they did the third party like montage part?
Yeah.
Well, did anything stand out from there? I think there was Cyberpunk. There was
Cyberpunk is interesting. I haven't replayed it though, so I can't really
yeah.
speak much about it.
Are you a Yakuza guy?
I would like to be one, but not now.
Okay.
I haven't played it.
Yeah, me neither.
But it does look interesting. It has an English dub, which is new for that game. Not new for the series, but it has an English dub now. And I think it has Spanish cassette dubs now. I think that's what I heard. I haven't verified that.
Yeah. And two more things. Silk Song guy or no? Or Hollow Knight guy or no?
I have a very complicated relationship with Hollow Knight as a game.
Okay. What's your
Uh,
relation?
I think it's a good game that doesn't hit what I want out of a Metroidvania
Yeah.
and is completely backloaded of all its best content. So you
Aw,
have to
man.
spend like the game is like 25 hours to play through, maybe even
Whoa.
very end,
Yeah.
but it feels like a slog before the 5-hour mark.
Ah, okay, got you.
I
I
personally
haven't
am
played
not a
Hollow
big-
Knight, but I just hear so many people like hyping it up that I'm just like, man, you know, is it that good? Oh, there
There
it is.
There it is. Yeah, I was like
Ah.
a little bit distracted. Hello.
Yeah,
But I was,
yeah.
but yeah, I was like, Hollow Knight is good. I think most of the thing is just the price point being really good, $15, and
Uh-huh.
it kept getting a lot of free DLCs that added more and more to it.
Yeah,
Basically.
yeah. For like the price, let's talk because I probably ask everybody about the price. What are your opinions on the price?
They're awful. They're really awful, especially like when you add on the upgrades to the Switch 1 games where now
Uh-huh.
they'll cost $80 on top. Like just like it'll be equal to Mario Kart. That's even more insane
Yeah.
than just Mario Kart being 80.
Yeah, nah, I feel you.
It kind of makes sense, but it's also like now this is just like the new norm. Like you're essentially paying DLC basically.
Did you see that for the updates for the what do they call it? The upgrade packs?
Yeah,
And
upgrade
we're
packs, I
we're going to
believe they're
talk
called.
about this in a bit. Are you Wait, hold on. Let me ask you. Do you have a PS5?
Yes, I have a PS5 and an
How do they do
Xbox.
it on the PS5 with the like
It
upgrades?
honestly varies. Some are free, most of them are free. Sony games tend to have the $10 upgrade though. It depends on publisher to publisher. It's case by case.
Oh,
You
so
don't
it's not
need
like a
to pay.
universal thing.
Yeah, it's not universal. That's also the same case on Xbox.
Got you.
Uh,
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
No, thank
So
you. That makes sense.
basically, so something like Fallout 4 that got a free patch to make it next gen. Something like Days Gone, which is just announced to get a next gen patch for PS5, that's a $10 upgrade.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so wait, Heavy Wings brought up Horizon Zero Dawn. That's a case of where it got both. It got both a 60 FPS patch for PS5, and then it got a dedicated PS5 version that takes advantage of the hardware even more.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
And Nintendo already announced there will be free patches for some games like Odyssey and ARMS.
That's what I was about to say. So
Yeah,
so some games are apparently going to get free patches, I guess.
Right.
But
Yeah,
so based on your experience, is what Nintendo doing in line with what Xbox and PS5 are doing? Is it?
Yeah. I think it's more in line with Sony's way because like they did free patches for games like Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, Horizon, Ratchet 2016. So they did some free upgrades, but then more recently transitioned to $10 upgrade patches.
Gotcha.
So Nintendo is going out the gate with a mix of both. And sometimes they do add extra content to these upgrades, like Kirby. Kirby has extra content now with it. Same for Mario Party.
Yeah. Huh. Okay. That's cool. Anything else? Because I know you might have to dip in a bit, but anything else you want to
Some of
point
them are
out?
$20, which is way higher than a lot of other things, though. Because the max is generally $10. $20 is crazy. Now, that being said, they sometimes tie
Wait,
some
$20
PS5 stuff-
upgrades?
Yeah, $20 upgrades for some things, I think. Yeah, like I think Kirby is Kirby and the Forgotten Land, I think, is $28 upgrade.
Wait, they have the prices up, is what you're saying?
I saw prices up on like a retail store. I think it was Walmart. Let me see. But it was basically also like DLC. So it's not just like a bump up to the technicals, it's also just new content.
Right. Okay, man. We're gonna get back to the direct. I appreciate you stopping through, man.
No problem.
Yeah.
I'll try to stick around as much as possible.
Yeah, man. All right, say bye to Lucario, y'all.
Mm-hmm. Take care, everybody. Be in chat.
All right, peace, man.
Take care.
Okay, y'all. Next, we're gonna talk about the game chat thing.
Mario
Okay.
Kart World launches on the same day as Nintendo Switch 2. We'll share more details in the future, so we hope you're looking forward to it.
Let's just fast forward through that. All right, the C button. The mysterious C button. What up, Dark Void? This part was funny. This part was very funny.
That was you. So quick.
Nintendo cord, yeah.
Wait, no.
Nix, I'm coming for you.
Chums, what's up?
Oh.
Introducing
Verum
GameChat,
Leonhardt,
a new
what's
feature
up?
For Nintendo Switch 2.
Okay, temperature check. Are we gonna be using this?
With
Are
this
we
feature,
using
you'll
Nintendo
be able to
Discord?
communicate with friends and family
Is anyone
while playing
actually
the
gonna
game.
use this?
Should we follow you? Yeah? Okay.
Not, nope, nah. Streamers will. Yeah, I can see it being fun for streaming. Not real people, nah. I can't see it.
Oh, okay. But you're still behind me, right?
Game chat looks more flexible than what PlayStation allows. Yeah, it does, for sure. For sure.
Jump on here. All right, let's keep going. It's coming. Let's make
Hassan, no, Nintendo using Skype. What up, TJ? Burgundy Striker Raz.
How did you get hit by a boat? Okay, nice.
It does look beautiful. It's okay.
Yggdrasil, what's up, man? I saw you before. Yeah, be safe driving out there, man.
If you open the chat menu,
But yeah, like I agree. I was kind of shocked that they showed that, but honestly, at the same time, respect for showing the frame
you can
drops.
also share your game.
Respect.
Did you see someone just like go on top of that dinosaur?
Like
They can do that?
that's
You guys are just
I respect that. Show how it actually works.
Oh, he's trying to eat me. He's trying to eat me.
Okay, I got it.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Big props on showing how bad it's gonna be. Yeah, like
Even while playing
I'd
different
rather them
games.
do that than show it running well and then
Oh, wow. I'm like in the sky right here. I'm like, I'm falling.
it's gonna be worse because of Nintendo servers.
Kirby.
Honestly, we're gonna talk about that, chums. I think we're seeing a new Nintendo right now, for better and for worse. But we're gonna talk about that in a bit. I feel like it's just way more convenient than booting up Discord on your phone and running headphones or whatever the fuck.
Another friend's game screen.
Yeah.
You gotta get above wall that's to your left. You're almost there.
Kinda.
A little wall ride.
So
Everyone,
besides watching my gameplay, not my friend's gameplay, I think there might also be a setting for higher bandwidth. New era for Nintendo. Yeah, this
Ooh, okay.
this era of Nintendo is kind of
Oh, yo, that's sick.
I like your pose, me.
feels like they want
on the
to
right
kind
Joy-Con
of
2 controller, there's an additional
be
button.
considered more of like a big
With
boy
the sync button,
console.
you can pull
But
up
again,
the
we're going to
chat
talk about
menu.
that later. We're going to talk about that later.
Oh, really? Wait, actually, guys, I got a call coming right now, so I'll be right back, yeah? Okay.
Here, you can quickly and easily mute yourself and more. And there's this. By connecting this camera to the system,
Hey.
Yeah, this is this is very flexible. I'm kind of surprised they went this far with it. I'm very surprised they went this far with it. Or far with it. Icy Hot, what's up? Thoughts? Correction, camera, my mistake. Xbox Live Uno is back, baby. Yo, this would. I feel like this is going to be a feature that I don't think everybody's gonna use this, but I think more people are gonna use it than we think. But the other aspect of this too is that a lot of gamers in our space don't have friends that we play multiplayer with. So this kind of feature I don't think appeals to us. I think it appeals, again, I think it appeals more to normie type gamers that might not be in this chat. Eclipse, speak for yourself. Oh, Eclipse, hold on. When me and you get on that Daemon X Machina,
Or hold a sports competition between families.
I want to see your face.
All together, anytime, anywhere. Game chat.
What did you think? In developing Game Chat,
Lucario said, damn, I'm in this convo and I don't like it. Okay, but let's move through. Let's move past this.
we hope you'll try it out.
This was interesting too. They kind of have like a open access period, March 31st to 2020, March 31st, 2026, to do it for free, I guess. So I guess they're trying to get people in on it to also beta test the feature a little bit too, I bet, because I'm pretty sure they're gonna have to work out some kinks over time and all that. But yeah, let's move on from this.
Can be adjusted to play
On Nintendo share with family and friends.
Okay, this part.
We'd like to
This is
introduce
what
another
Lucario
new
was talking about
experience to
earlier.
share with family and friends. On Nintendo Switch, even if you just have one game, you can pass a Joy-Con controller to a friend and play together. But on Nintendo Switch 2, you can play together locally on multiple systems using just one game.
Thanks for the follow, Ace. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate you, man.
Here, even games that require multiple screens can be played if one person owns a compatible game. With
This
Game
is
Share,
amazing,
you
y'all.
can share compatible games with others who also have Nintendo Switch 2 or a Nintendo Switch
This
system.
game share feature, Nintendo DS download play is back.
Game Share also
Hachi,
supports
I haven't seen the
multiple
extra
other
Daemon X
Switch 2
Machina
systems.
footage.
And you can use it with friends via Game Chat, which we showed earlier.
We're gonna talk about that though.
Game Share can only be used with compatible games. This feature is planned for several titles, starting with a free update for Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics on Nintendo Switch. Game Share support is also planned for select games exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2, so we hope you'll look forward to it.
Up next, we'd like to show you the Nintendo Switch 2 system itself.
Please take a look.
Okay. Thanks for the sub, Ultra Tau. Thank you, man. Thank you. All right. We're going to have another caller come in. This is Ozzy. What's up, man? How you doing, bro?
What's good, guys? Can you, do I sound okay?
You sound good. You sound
Excellent,
good, man.
excellent. So, just a quick thing. Mario Kart World, excuse me, looks incredible. $80 is pretty crazy, if I do say so myself.
Yeah.
But as you said, it's probably going to be that like selective pricing. So I was like, oh, Mario Kart, 3D Mario, Modern Zelda, Smash Brothers, maybe Animal Crossing. Those are kind of the tier of game that can get this $80 price tag. So I don't expect this to be like blanket on everything, because that'd be crazy.
Yeah. You for the pricing, are you cool with? Are you getting Mario Kart? I didn't see what you said in the chat.
I'm a Nintendo shill, so I buy that shit regardless. They could have been like, that's $180. I'm like, well, I guess it's $180, guys.
Yeah.
Shout out Heavy Wings, what's up, man? It does suck that it $80 is just the price, especially given the state of the world right now. If you look at the news, everything's on fire. So the pricing, the $450 I'm okay with. I thought that's a little bit on the high end because we were all like $400 makes a lot of sense, but
yeah,
they probably wanted to get ahead of certain world events. $80 is crazy. I'm there day one. I talked to a GameStop manager friend of mine, and they were like, oh, parents were already calling today to pre-order the game.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah,
so like
it's a wrap.
people are straight up delusional that they're like, oh, this will be a Don Matrick moment for Nintendo. That's not happening. This
Oh
is
no
not
no no no
Xbox
no no
One,
no 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 no
PS3.
no.
Like
No,
be-
and
be-
this is Mario Kart. This is Mario
yeah,
Kart.
exactly. This isn't like Flumbo or whatever. You know what I mean? Some random fuck ass game they be making
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah,
the, in the
yeah.
studio. But
Yeah.
something that did genuinely stick out to me is this is a very technology focused presentation. Like they spent
Yeah.
a good amount of time on the tech.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They did. They did. It was and that kind of goes into what I was saying or teasing at earlier when it comes to how this felt like a new Nintendo kind of. I think what I read kind of in passing online about how the Switch 2 was made is that I think it's younger developers that were working on the Switch 2. Yeah.
Somebody that stood out to me is that in the three dudes that were presenting it, the guy on the right, Dota, he was the lead, I believe, sound engineer on Breath of the Wild. I'm pretty sure that was his title back in the day. I think he also worked on Tears of the Kingdom. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah.
But I remember on Breath of the Wild, he was interviewed during that interview series they did leading up to the game.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
This was not Koizumi. This was not Shinya Takahashi. These are new, younger dudes that are like in their 40s compared to Takahashi and Koizumi who are in their mid 60s. Like this is a younger group of people, which is a really interesting change compared to like the old guard that we've been kind of seeing for the past 7 to 8 years.
Yeah, yeah. What were like your thoughts on some of the stuff we talked about earlier with I guess we talked about pricing already, but
Game sharing as a
yeah,
one
yeah,
thing.
yeah, game sharing.
That's
and
really
stuff.
cool. I actually think that's a very interesting way for Nintendo to be like to try and get around the price problem because like for example, like say I buy Mario Kart 8 or Mario Kart, excuse me. I'm so used to saying that. I bought a Mario Kart World and you don't, right? And you want to play and I want you to play with me. I can be like, "Okay, GK, here you go. We can join an online lobby together." I think that's kind of nice. I think that's a nice thing to do for families especially. Like if you have like if you have like for example, if you have the disposable income to afford 4 Nintendo Switch 2s in your household, you can get your you and your like 3 kids or whatever to play with you. And I think that's really sick through one copy of the game. I think that's really nice. That's a very forward-thinking thing. Onto the C button, I thought it wasn't that bad. People online are really negative on it. I thought that was a really honest presentation of it. As you were saying,
yeah.
They showed that the game streaming is bad, and I think that's really I respect that. I'm like, okay, I mean, yeah, man, it's the bitrate's gonna be bad. That's just kind of what it is.
Yeah. It's serviceable. It's more about it's just serviceable,
Right.
And that's
right.
cool. Most people
I
don't
agree.
care about how perfect it runs as long as it gets like the general function.
Like I don't want to have Discord on my phone while I'm playing something on the TV with headphones. Like I think it's just kind of nice to have the ability to be like, okay, I can be on voice chat with my friends.
Yes.
Like in a couple minutes. But yeah, going back to what I said, technology was the main focus. Like they highlighted the fact that this can have a 120 FPS game. Is that not weird for Nintendo to even like just mention that?
Yeah.
Like-
That's what bro. Like when they said the 120 FPS thing, and again, we're gonna get to that later in the direct.
Right.
When they touched on that, I was like, who is this?
Exactly.
Like
the mouse support, the 120 FPS, and them being like directly after, like, oh, Metroid Prime 4, 120 FPS, 1080, which I was not expecting at all. I was like, wow.
at all. Not in handheld mode, especially.
Exactly. That's I'm like shocked that they're just like, this is what we are now. Like this is because there's this false idea that Nintendo isn't state of the art and like post GameCube, right? Like everyone's like, oh, Wii U, Switch are bad hardware. In terms of like fidelity, sure. But like we had like pretty state of the art motion controls for the time, right? The Wii U had asymmetric gaming with the gamepad, and the Switch is the first handheld console, like a handheld, like docked, like home console. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like Switch 2 seems like a continuation of that notion that we're not necessarily that far behind, right?
No. Yeah. Especially
then-
now that like
there you go.
kind of the ceiling for graphics and things like that and tech
Mm-hmm.
in general, the ceiling is kind of peaking a little bit. So now
Yes.
the difference between Nintendo and everyone else is becoming less stark.
Nintendo games running at 60 FPS and like 1440p that like destroys everybody. Like there's
Yeah.
what the fuck's Horizon gonna do when Zelda, the real Zelda game comes out,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And then speaking of Zelda, like they were like, here's Breath of the Wild, here's Tears of the Kingdoms, Tears of the Kingdom, two of the most critically acclaimed video games ever. Oh, and now they're just better. They're just a net better game.
Man,
Right,
when I
these-
saw Tears of the Kingdom
Dude, that was
moving at
crazy.
yeah.
That was I was screaming and hollering. So I'm like, that's really cool. And it's just like this is very technology focused direct.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I thought this presentation was pretty good. Like overall, there's a sentiment that's like I wish I saw more Nintendo stuff, which I agree. But I think a lot of third parties being like, we got games on here, guys. Don't worry. And it's not like Arkham Armored Edition. Do you remember on the Wii U? Like
Oh
some
yeah,
fuck-ass ports.
or Tekken Tag Tournament with
Exactly.
Snoop Dogg, and you know, yeah, it's not
exactly.
that. Yeah.
It's just like these are like more serious endeavors, and then they can
Yeah.
go. You can tell that Nintendo is exceptionally serious with their final 3 announcements. If I can like quickly just jump ahead.
Yeah.
So the first one being a FromSoft Nintendo co-funded new IP. Like
Yeah.
what? What does that mean?
Crazy.
With the aesthetics of Bloodborne, right? It's not Bloodborne, but like it's Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Like we're being so serious. It's a Bloodborne game, and Miyazaki is directing it. He has not directed a game since Bloodborne 1. Fun fact.
Yeah.
He's been co-directing like Elden Ring, Sekiro, and Armored Core 6. He was a co-director or a producer, but he was directly involved with this one. This is his game that he's been working on.
Let me say this on that
Sure.
point real quick.
Sure,
When
sure.
I saw the Bloodborne part, right?
Mm.
In my mind, my view of what the Switch 2 is to the industry right now, I feel like this is Japan's the word I use is Japan's stimulus
I did see
package.
that. I saw that tweet and I cackled because that's a real ass.
I
That's
feel
real.
like they're colluding, man. They're like, yo, no, we gotta
Yeah,
we gotta
be- yeah, like,
inject some energy back
100%.
into yeah.
Like, look at every reaction. Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. Ash in the Hourglass. He did direct Durancy. You're right. I'm sorry, but that doll game that in PSVR. But otherwise, what was I going to say? Like, it's
The
playing into
stimulus,
Bloodborne. It's playing into Bloodborne. Like, let's be so serious. If you go to like Maximilian Dude's reaction, he looked like he was about to have a stroke while watching that. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Next game, Kirby Air Ride 2, directed by Masahiro Sakurai.
I'm so glad it wasn't Smash.
Dude, dead ass. I was so worried. I thought I saw that. My brother, I was watching the stream with my brother this morning, and he was like, that looks like Smash CG. Like, that's the style of CG that Sakurai likes to use with this company called Digital Frontier. And I was like, God, no, we can't do this again for another 8 years. Thankfully, it's a cooler game than Smash, whatever the next Smash game is. Probably not. We're gonna see Smash probably in like 2 years. Let's be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Kirby Air Ride, directed by Masahiro Sakurai. Sakurai is arguably one of the best game directors to ever exist, right? With his sense of game design. So I'm obviously that's day one. And the game of my dreams was announced at the very end.
What?
My ever since I was like 12, I've wanted a DK game where you can just punch people. Like you just walk around the world and you just punch people. And when I saw like there's in the trailer, if you want to think about it, is that there's a couple of scenes where it's like showing the environments, right? It's like starting off, you see this little ice dude at the bottom left, and then you see in Donkey Kong. Did you play Tropical Freeze, by the way?
No. I didn't play Tropical Freeze.
In Tropical Freeze, there's these paper mache animals that some of the characters walk around with, and there's a giraffe that's stripped straight out of Tropical Freeze. And I'm having a fucking panic attack at that moment. Like I think right before this scene. Right before this thing you pulled up. Yeah. And you see the monkeys. I'm like, that's DK or Diddy, and I lose my shit right here when he punches the wall. I'm like screaming because look at this guy, look at him. Like, oh my god, they announced a AAA Donkey Kong game where you have Red Faction terraforming. You ever played Red Faction on the PS2?
No. I haven't.
That's a PS2 game that Sony funded that has complete terraforming. You can destroy the environment completely. And this is a Nintendo game that's 1440p 60 FPS, locked 60 FPS, where he just breaking shit. And I could not be happier. This is the game of my dreams. I've been waiting for this game since I was like 12. I'm 27
It looks
years
good.
old now.
It looks really good.
Dude, I cannot get over how beautiful this looks. And this is also probably made by the Odyssey team, like Koizumi's.
I think that was the rumor, right? That was the rumor.
Yes, that was the rumor that I think what's his name? Lonely Guma posited back in 2019. He was like 2019. I think he said this rumor, 2022. I don't remember, but he was like, Nintendo EPD Tokyo, that the Koizumi team is working on a Donkey Kong game. I wonder if he got his like news just too early. You know, like this is a real video game.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
This is not like a silly little like, haha, we're making whatever. This is a real video game that Nintendo is charging real money from us, and I'm like, I couldn't be happier.
1000%.
People don't like if you go to the Donkey Kong subreddit, they hate it, which is the most whatever, man. We gotta get these Euro. I can't say what I was gonna say. We can't get these European fans. We gotta get them out of here. Get them out of here. We don't need them. This is my Japanese Donkey Kong. I want my Japanese Donkey Kong, damn it.
On that note, before my European fans kill me, thanks for coming through, man. We're gonna go through the rest of the direct, man. Yo.
All right then, thanks y'all. I'll probably be here in the chat like on my phone, but I did have to leave a little.
I got you. All right, be safe, man.
That was
Say
fun,
bye.
Y'all. Later, y'all. I can see you guys soon. Later.
Yeah. So, next part. We talked about the game share. Let's get into this part that we were talking about just now. This technology part of the direct, HDR, they start talking about frame rate. By the way, people were worried about the magnetic attachment. What up? It's too easy. The real triggering aspect of this whole thing is Nintendo games don't go on sale. They stay $80 for eternity and only increase. Yeah. We're gonna get into that. But people were kind of worried about the magnetic attachment aspect of the Joy-Cons. I think them things gonna be secure. The way they talking, I think they ain't gonna be slipping and sliding like the Switch 1 Joy-Cons.
Firmly attached to the system. Controller easily by pressing the release button.
They still got an audio jack. They still got an 8mm.
The SL and SR buttons are bigger for greater comfort and control when playing with.
Thank goodness for that. Even though I'm never gonna use that part of the controller. That's whatever. Who cares?
The left and right sticks are now larger.
I'm surprised they didn't mention Hall effect right there. The way they're so technology focused now. I do want to know if these are Hall effect analog sticks though.
By adjusting the audio balance between the ranges, sounds from the built-in speakers are clearer and more natural in handheld and tabletop modes.
Gaia, what's up? If I still have to replace them because of the drift, it's gonna piss me off. I think we're good. I think we're safe. But I'm just surprised they didn't say anything about that. If they don't have Hall effect analog sticks, they gotta get with the times, bro. Fuck all that 120. I don't even perceive 120 FPS, but I perceive that drift. Make sure that drift is fixed. Dandy Spike, what's up? I desperately hope that the thumbsticks are vastly improved. Yes.
Place your Nintendo Switch 2 however you like.
Thanks for the follow, Zena14. Got a lot of new people coming in today. I appreciate y'all, man.
In addition to the USB-C port found on the bottom of the system, there's one on top as well.
And I think Firmament said it earlier. Bro, I heard you about the Discord noises. I got you, bro. I got you. Hold on. I got a bootleg fix for you, man.
Comes with 256 gigabytes of internal storage, 8 times that of Nintendo Switch, for storing your game.
The stand improvement is good.
And more. Reading and writing data is also faster.
New dock, 4K support.
Use the Nintendo Switch 2 dock to connect to your TV.
Let's get through this part. Let's get through this part because I think all of us have kind of seen this at this point. Yo, real quick. What if we still don't get themes? What if we still don't get themes? What if it's still just white and black? I think I don't even need like special like game centric themes or nothing complicated. Just give me like, y'all remember how the PSP had themes based on the month? This might be some talk right now, but the PSP, I think the PS3 did this too actually. So, but the PSP and the PS3 for the XMB interface, the theme would change colors every month. So it'll be like orange during September and yeah, you know, it will be based on whatever the month was. Give us at least different colors. Give us, if y'all not gonna do game themed stuff, then you know, at least give us different colors. Come on, they're not just black and white. But that's all I want. I don't want nothing crazy.
The Nintendo Switch.
Thank goodness for the fan, because I'm playing Xenoblade X right now on my Switch 1, and that thing is roaring. That thing is roaring. Screaming.
On Nintendo Switch 2, you can play Nintendo Switch 2 games, as well as compatible Nintendo Switch games.
Okay.
Physical and digital games.
Hold on. We're about to get into a very important part of this, okay? We're going to get into a very important part. The thing was screaming, boy.
As you just saw, Nintendo Switch 2 isn't simply an improved
Okay, this part was weird.
Exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2.
This part was really weird. We don't got to get too deep into it, but why are they charging for this? That was very surprising.
There are a lot of question mark icons here. Let's examine them. This sign reads, "Where are the magnets?"
Yeah, that is very odd. Very odd.
Magnets. And SR attached to Nintendo 2. Things like this are
But I will say,
golf club and aim for the cup by rotating the Joy-Con 2.
the new Joy-Cons are crazy technologically. This is actually crazy.
Combining by rotating the Joy-Con 2.
This is actually wild.
By combining the mouse controls and gyroscopes, things like this are possible.
That's dope,
To
actually.
discover, even as you're playing mini-game features of the system, to tiny
So
This is the
we're gonna stop right here, and we got another call. Let me make sure he's good. Ultra, are you still there? What? It's still... Did y'all hear that? Yeah, y'all did. I see it. But yeah, hold on, Ultra. I got you. I got you in a minute, bro. Hold up. Yeah, the tech demo thing is very odd. I don't really understand what they were doing with that. Hopefully it doesn't cause too much, because I do want to try that out. And where'd you go, bro? Hold on, I'm gonna call you back. Nintendo Ninjas got him. It's like 1,000 yen. Oh, the game? Are you talking about the pack-in game is 1,000 yen? How much is 1,000 yen in American money? Gene Park talked about this recently, I believe. $10. Okay. Wow. That's interesting. Okay. While we get that figured out, let's keep it moving. To this part,
Card for Nintendo Switch 2 titles.
the game card.
It's the
Okay.
same shape as Nintendo
One
Switch
one
game
thing we're gonna talk about with this is that this is one of the things that there's a lot of misinformation around.
Next up is additional storage. Switch 2
and-
will only work with micro SD express cards. They're a different type of SD card and will make high-speed data transfers possible. Please note that regular micro SD cards used for Nintendo Switch will not be compatible. Additionally, to transfer data from Switch to Switch 2, you can log into your
Charging
Nintendo
for that
account
after
to
the
use
PS5
system
tech demo.
transfer
Yeah.
With this
With the game
feature,
card
you
still.
can transfer save data, digital games,
Is it
and
still
more.
bitter? Hopefully not.
Also
We
releasing
need
a
improvements
new
from the Switch
control
1. We can't keep looking in the
It has a C
past.
button, which launches game
Serial
chat.
Sensei, what's up? A lot of people I saw are
There
assuming the game key cards are going to be for
you can
every game.
use to assign
That's what I
access
wanted to talk about, Serial. That's what I wanted to talk about.
In addition, an audio jack has been added. We've introduced a few new features, and after today's presentation, the official Nintendo Switch 2 website will go live. There will also be an Ask the Developer article on the website, where the three of us
We got to
will
get
talk
through that
about the
article
development
because
of Nintendo Switch
half
2.
the direct
We
is
hope you'll check it
online
out.
on other stuff. Not even in the direct. Half the information we
Nintendo
need.
Switch 2 launch date. Nintendo Switch 2 launches on June 5th. We're very much looking forward to the day when you all get to experience it, so please wait just a bit longer.
Now, broadly speaking, on Nintendo Switch 2, you can play 3 types of games. The first type is Nintendo Switch 2 games. These games take advantage of the performance and features of Switch 2. The second type is compatible games that were released
All right.
on Nintendo Switch.
We got Ultra. What's up, man? Hold up. You there?
Can't hear me?
Yeah. I hear you, bro.
Okay. Wait. You can hear me?
Yeah. I hear you.
Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We're all good. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay.
All right.
Um,
What was it that you? Because you keep saying you had something you wanted to talk about with the direct. What was
Okay.
the part you wanted to focus on?
So one thing with me with this direct, I think the direct was fine, and I think like especially like I live in Canada, so like when we see the prices of games, it's the Canadian dollar's a lot weaker than the US dollar.
Yeah.
So like seeing those like price conversions to here is like I know it's like supposed to be close to equivalent.
Uh-huh.
Damn, they hurt. God damn.
Yeah. So wait, so for y'all, the price isn't that much different?
So if you go, I'm just gonna do CAD to US dollar.
Uh-huh.
It's $4.49, right?
Yeah.
$449.99. $449.99 is $641.49 Canadian, and I believe the Canadian price is $629. I think it's $629. They said. Let me just check here. Sorry, let me bring it up here. Yeah, so the Canadian price is $629 for the console alone,
Uh-huh.
which is about, I guess it's like, because $449 US is $641.49 Canadian, so it's a $10 cut they took off for us, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I don't really know if that's the right way to say it. The $6.99 Mario Kart bundle, no, the $4.99 Mario Kart bundle is $499.99 US is $712 Canadian, and that for us is $699.99. So they just basically cut off $10 basically to round it up. So like, even though like because the Canadian dollar is really crappy right now, the prices try to close to be equivalent. Just looking at those prices, like, just really like makes you be like, geez, like, oof.
Man, okay. Do you what are you going to buy Mario Kart?
I mean, I'm not gonna get one at launch. I mean, I definitely do want to get one. I know my cousin's gonna like get one, and I'll play Mario Kart with him.
Yeah.
But I definitely do want to play the new Mario Kart. Mario Kart World looks really, really cool. Something I was thinking of with Mario Kart World is like how like the tracks are all like the whole game is like the tracks are connected together. It kind of have you ever played the Sega game Outrun?
No.
Where it's like in Outrun, you like drive the car and you like go to these different stops in the world.
Yeah.
And it kind of reminds me, I wonder if they like kind of thought of that, where it's like this whole interconnected, like kind of like track that just keeps going, and there's different zones and areas and designs, which it kind of reminded me of that. If I could maybe just send you a picture.
Yeah.
Of the Outrun map.
Wait, so you're not getting a Switch 2 at launch?
At launch, I do want to get one.
If not at launch, is it going to be this year?
Not this year, definitely. Not this year. I think the prices are. I think the prices are a bit too much right now. I mean, I know this thing will never get a price drop, but yeah,
you gotta brace yourself. You gotta prepare yourself.
You gotta brace yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
My second thing is that I feel like with the Switch 2 boxes, this is like something I have in my head, is that Nintendo is like deliberately trying to get people to get digital.
Yes.
With that.
Yes.
Because of how ugly they look. And if you look at I'm just gonna send you here. Look at the Prime 4 box art, the Switch 2 version. It has all this like Switch 2 version, and it has all this fine print at the bottom there, and the Switch 1 version doesn't have that. So I'm wondering if that Nintendo, especially because Switch 2 games are going to be physical Switch 2 games are $10 more expensive in cases, that they want people to buy digitally. So that
this is the Metroid Prime 2 box art.
This is the Prime 4 box art.
Oh, Prime 4, my bad. I just recently played Prime 2, yeah.
Here's the Switch 1 box art I'm sending you. They put all this ugly fine print on it, and it looks really bad.
Yeah, that does look bad. Yeah, that's an interesting theory. That's a very interesting theory.
Especially if Mario Kart Worlds is going to be $10 more expensive physically. Like they clearly are they're trying to pressure people into you buying digitally on the eShop to cut out the middleman retailer, because they don't want people lending games or like anything.
This is interesting, man.
Especially, I thought about this as well. Is that the Direct last week? Do you remember the whole digital game card fiasco?
Yeah.
You know how like Nintendo was changing how like digital games work, how you can lend them?
Yeah.
You can only lend those digital games to your family members for 14 days, and then they have to return it for you.
Yes. But let me say this real quick. I think they're doing that because they don't want someone to take your game.
That's true, but the license is still for the main holder.
Yeah.
But Nintendo clearly doesn't want people. They knew how expensive this stuff would be, so they're deliberately restricting some of like the access of their games.
Yeah. On that note,
also,
what are your?
I would mention one more thing as well.
Yeah.
Is do you remember the My Nintendo coins?
My Nintendo. Wait, no, no.
When-
Are you talking
when you
about the
bought-
gold points and stuff?
Yeah, the gold coins. Because
Yeah,
you could
yeah.
use those. You could use those to buy games on the eShop. You could use that to discount your purchasing.
Yeah, and then they got rid of
can't-
that. They got,
They got rid of that
yeah.
because they don't want people hoarding their coins and discounting Switch 2 titles.
Yeah.
And one more thing is that the Nintendo Game Voucher program is not eligible for any Switch 2 game.
Where did they say that?
This was a bit ago. Nintendo Game Voucher.
Did they wait? Hold on. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Let me bring this up here. There's an article here.
Cause Nintendo as a business sucks. Yeah. The Nintendo is very. Yeah, go on.
Let me just. Sorry, I'm just getting the thing here.
Yeah.
Which it says here on the FAQ page on Nintendo's website, Nintendo Switch game vouchers cannot be redeemed for games exclusive to the Switch 2 system.
Wow.
Because the vouchers worked because you paid a bit extra money to get 2 games on discount.
Yeah.
Oh, Nintendo.
Ooh, man, yeah. This is definitely their the Switch 2 feels like their 3DS moment.
Mm-hmm.
This feels like their 3DS.
I was really thinking about that because like with the whole debacle with like the 3DS at launch with its price, and then they had
This
to do
feels
the
similar.
price cut so quickly early on. I think the thing is though is that like that was like the Iwata era of Nintendo.
Yes.
And
yeah.
and Iwata like what you could say, like, was he the best president for Nintendo? No, but he really took things to like he took things personally.
Yeah.
and to heart.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, this is interesting. This is
It definitely is a new Nintendo.
yeah. On that note, anything else about the Direct stand out to you before we get to the next caller right quick?
Yes, I've stayed on here too long.
No, you're good. You're good.
I think the Donkey Kong game looks really cool. It's cool
Wow,
to see
okay.
a 3D Donkey Kong game after
Yeah.
a really long time, and it's coming out July, I think it said, or like
Yeah, very soon. It's not far away. It's July.
hmm
Yeah.
Mario Kart looks so cool. Like especially just the whole open world sort of stuff. Especially after playing 8 for so long. Like
Yeah.
we've seen 8 for so long, and now this looks so completely different. Yakuza 0 Director's Cut looks cool. I mean, it's interesting to see.
Real
that.
quick before you continue, I am tired of seeing Yakuza in every single video. Like, respect to all my Yakuza people,
Hey,
but
yeah,
every
love
single
Yakuza.
video game presentation, Yakuza 0, Yakuza. Oh, this ain't Yakuza, but it's Judgment. This is like the Yakuza side stories in the same universe. Oh, new Virtual Fighter, but also let's mention Yakuza. Let's mention like Yakuza is respect, but goddamn, take a break.
Hey, I mean, I guess it's that series was like nearly dead in the water for like getting American releases, and now it's like at Nintendo
Yeah.
Direct, you gotta respect RGG and Sega.
I
for
thought
really
Nintendo
popping
was my
series up.
safe haven from Yakuza, and now it's infiltrated. It's infiltrated even the Nintendo presentations now. Like, I
Yeah.
need Yakuza to take just 1 year off, 1 year, and I'll be like, okay, y'all can come back to it. Y'all can get back to it. Y'all can do your thing. But
Real quick, and then biggest surprise, Kirby Air Ride 2. That is incredible.
that was a shock.
I like when I saw Kirby on the Warp Star and it was the black background, I thought they were gonna announce Smash for a second.
I was scared.
It looks like the Smash Bros. Kirby. And then when the jets came out, I knew it. It was Kirby Air Ride, and I cannot believe it's this year. That game
Yeah.
is seriously a part of my childhood. The original. That game is awesome.
Yeah, 1000%.
And I'm really happy that it's like Sakurai is directing it. Like at the end where it said
Yes.
director Sakurai, like
Yeah.
I'm glad that he wasn't chained to Smash, but I'm sure he'll be back to overseeing it at some point.
Yeah, one day. Bro, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, you gotta let other people talk. Good
Yeah,
talking.
yeah. Thank you, man.
Yeah, hell yeah.
He said, hell yeah, and dipped. That's my boy, man. That's my boy. Okay. And then we got my other boy.
Yo.
How's it going, man? Mr. SU in the building.
Do I sound good?
You sound good, man. You sound good. How you
Hell
doing?
yeah.
How you doing, man?
Pretty good. I kind of overslept and missed my class today, but that's just how it is.
Hey, it is what it is, man. What
yeah,
you studying?
I can just
What-
look at the notes online, so it's not like the end of the world. It's just like, oh, overslept.
Yeah. All right. So I've seen you in the chat, man. I've seen you in the chat going in. What about the direct stood out to you?
A lot. I literally woke up and was like, oh god, the direct has happened. And like I asked my friend to send me the VOD, but I didn't realize that the VOD goes private and they just put up like the regular video.
Yeah.
But if I go on YouTube, then I'm gonna get spoiled. So I did the unthinkable and I actually watched it in the Nintendo Today app.
Oh wow. You're a real Nintendo fan.
I gave it a try because I wanted to see what the hell this little thing is. It's kind of like a rinky-dink, kind of like Nintendo version of Tumblr and Twitter.
Yeah.
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Yeah. It's very weird, and I ended up using it, so I guess they're doing something right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the biggest thing that I was really taking away from the price point debates, like I will say straight up first, since you were asking about that to everyone,
Mhm.
I am not going to buy a Switch 2 in year one, just straight up.
Okay.
And probably not in year two, unless they make a Pokemon game or a Fire Emblem game that is exclusive to it.
Oh, so
But
you're gonna play
otherwise-
Pokemon Za on the Switch 1?
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
Because I
play
know
it
you're
on
a
the Switch.
Pokemon guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, so even Pokemon Za with 60 frames can't get you to the Switch 2?
If it's Za, man.
Yeah. Nah, that's real. So not year one or year two. So is it the what is it? Is it the price or is it the lineup isn't there for you or?
I would say it's mostly the price. I'd say it's the price and the lineup. You know what I
Gotcha.
mean?
Okay.
Like Mario Kart, Donkey Kong, Kirby Air Ride. These are definitely big games that I want to try at some point.
Yeah.
But as an RPG guy, I do love the platformers and the racers, but they're more like my break games from the RPGs.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
I see.
Yeah. I do think I do have some things to say about Kirby Air Ride and DK, but the big thing I wanted to open up with is I think the price point in Japan is really interesting, right? Because a big thing is people have been comparing the price points internationally to what they got at home. Because at home, the price point, converted is much closer to like $350 US. It's much closer to Mario Kart World is much closer to like $60. It's much closer to just like a regular Switch game, right?
Yeah.
And I think a big reason they're doing that, I think they may actually be underselling the Switch over there because there is no other console manufacturer that is really working over there anymore, right? Like Sony has basically priced the Japanese market out of they basically priced them out now, right?
Yep.
So Nintendo pretty much has a monopoly in that territory. So choosing to like undersell it a little bit there means they basically have complete dominance in the home market. Have you looked at the console sales by region?
No. Wait, no, you mean like Famitsu and stuff like that?
Yeah, like literally
Yeah.
go to Wikipedia and look at the top selling consoles by region for Japan, and it is all handhelds with the PS2 at number 5.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like they pretty much have dominance over there now. It's pretty crazy. I think they might even be underselling it a bit. Like look at all the features and all like, all the cool things they showed off. Like this is I think this is pretty worthy of being a $450 system, right?
No, yeah, for sure.
And I feel like they're kind of underselling it on purpose so that they keep home field dominance. Because if you look at Nintendo's history, they have always been the strongest at focusing at home and North America, right? That's how
Yeah.
they were for a long time until the Switch generation, where they really started attacking other places like Europe and South Korea and that kind of thing.
Oh.
So they really love their home country, and I think that is a big deal that they're trying to do that. Oh yeah, and I've also heard a lot of people say that yen is currently on the downturn.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
What were your thoughts overall on the direct? Like, on the direct overall though?
Yeah.
Do you feel like it was good for the most part in terms of? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not getting it within like the first 2 to 3 years, depending on how fast Pokemon and Fire Emblem come to it.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not disinterested in it either. I think it was a very interesting direct. The thing that really stood out to me, and I can't believe people aren't talking about it much, but it was kind of weird that when they were going through the third party like sizzle reel, like this is what we got all the other third party guys doing, right? They literally got them to like show up on video, right? Like it felt like a Nintendo Direct for those guys. Isn't that kind of crazy? It was like they're kind of doing the Nintendo thing.
Yeah.
That was something that just kind of came to my mind, and kind of the sleeper thing, because it looks like not too many people in your audience are talking about it, but Deltarune was a huge deal. Have you been following that game's development?
Let me say this. I'm gonna tell you something right quick. Bro, I'm 34. Deltarune and Undertale and all that
And
sort of
so
stuff.
is Toby Fox.
That stuff is those are Gen Z core games. I respect.
But the crazy thing is that Toby Fox is around your age.
He is, but that's like saying like, oh, the people who make My Little Pony are 50 or something. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
but the Undertale was literally made with like nostalgia for the freaking 16-bit era in mind.
I got you. I hear you. I hear you, but that's not who it reached.
True, that is
I'm
true.
telling
That's
you,
the funny thing.
Everyone in my age group, I don't know many 34-year-olds who are hyping. Everyone I know who's hyping Undertale, 28 and below, 27 and below, maybe. Like it's for that. Who said it? Who just said it? Jalen Devon, 34 and never read Homestuck. Not my demographic. Exactly. Thank you. It's for that Homestuck, Tumblr, that era.
I've never been on either.
No, I wasn't heavy. It's very Gen Z. Gen Z and Zillennials. I don't want to count out my Zillennials. You know what I'm saying? So, but no, I haven't been following it, but I do know and respect. By the way, I played Undertale for maybe 1 to 2 hours. Very fascinating, very interesting. I understand what they're going for, the Earthbound influences and kind of a subversion of RPG tropes and all that kind of stuff. I respect it, but not my vibe. But go on.
Yeah, I'll give you the Spark Notes idea of what's going on.
Yeah.
So Toby Fox, like in about 2021, I think he like opened up a newsletter where every few months, like once per season, he just straight up talks about the game's development. It's a very surprisingly transparent thing, and it's really cool to see that he's like saying, hey, we're working on this thing, and he'll even talk about sections of the game without like trying to spoil it,
Yeah.
And it's
1000%.
really cool. But the thing is about that transparency is it kind of gives people a bit of a false sense of how close the game is to coming out. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Yeah.
Because
yeah,
he's
yeah.
like recently he's even like straight up been talking about like how much progress the bug testing team has been making on like PS5 and that kind of thing. So it's led to a meme where people are like Deltarune tomorrow every day, and then the next day it's Deltarune tomorrow, and it just keeps on going and going. So finally getting a release date was a very huge deal for my generation.
Nah, yeah, for the Gen Z. Nah, I hear y'all. I hear y'all, man. That's fire. Anything else before we get back to the direct?
Okay, here's another thing that is anti GK core but needs to be said.
Wait, hold on.
Pikmin with mouse controls is a big deal.
No. Oh my gosh.
Pikmin with mouse controls.
Don't say it again. Yo, look, man. I'm happy for y'all. Y'all do your just go over there. Go.
Hey, you get
over
Metroid
there.
with mouse controls, so like it evens out.
Okay, I'm happy. I'm happy for all my Pikmin people, man. Like, good for y'all, but keep that shit away. Keep that shit far away from me. And you know, go crazy with the mouse controls and all that. Do your thing and throw your little. Throw your
I
little
also need to talk
turnips.
about the DK game, though.
Okay, yeah. Go on.
Yeah, the DK game. I think this series has such an interesting identity because it's like one of the major platformers, right? This was especially huge in like the 90s, right? Because this was kind of like, this was Nintendo swinging back at Sega. It was their huge game with like cutting edge graphics and like it looked crazy at the time. And like after the 90s, it was always in this weird place where it was constantly swapping who was working on it, right? Because like in the 90s, it was Rare. And then in the 2000s, there was DK Jungle Beat, which was done by like EAD, the same people who worked on Mario Galaxy, but it was a very weird game. And then there was like the Retro Studios games, and now we got this. So it's just kind of crazy how Donkey Kong has never had this like really they never have the same people working on it, Maybe a few of the people who worked on Jungle Beat are working on the new one, but it's like always switching people.
Yeah. The more we look at this, the more
it does have a strong identity, right?
Yeah.
Like the big things are that it's very atmospheric. It's a lot more difficult than Mario and Kirby are. And like now it's cool that how environmental destruction is kind of like a big part of the series identity, because they were kind of flirting with that in like the Retro Studio games, right? Because they had like the ground pound thing and you could destroy some things. So it feels like they're finally moving from just like fun, automated kind of environment destruction to like real ass environment destruction now,
Yeah.
Very cool to see that.
Yeah.
And also Kirby Air Ride 2, right? How does this game gonna do in a world where Mario Kart exists? Is this game gonna be reasonably priced and then everyone plays Kirby Air Ride 2 instead?
Yo, that is something to think about.
Because like people love Air Ride. It's a very beloved game. People look back on it. But at the time, reviewers kind of slammed it a bit. And most people were like, why would I play this when I could just play F-Zero GX and Mario Kart Double Dash?
I remember one of the critiques for Kirby Air
Ride 2 gonna do to like really set it apart?
I was gonna say, I remember one of the critiques was back in the day, because to move in Kirby Air Ride, I think everything is just one button or just a few buttons to do something.
Right.
So it was called like too simple and, kind of basic.
Yeah.
But I think something like that, I think Kirby Air Ride is one of those games that over time people have been like, you know what? We were too hard on that.
Yeah, that's kind of the GameCube in general, right?
Yeah. 1000%. Nah, like it's definitely gonna be an interesting thing to see, like Kirby Air Ride and Mario Kart coexist. What were your thoughts on people are kind of, now that we're talking about it, what were your thoughts on the GameCube stuff?
I'm happy they're there. It's kind of cool that the GameCube Pokemon games are coming back because people really love those.
Yes.
Like people are always talking about them, and it's cool to see them actually back. It's because people have never expected them to come back. But I feel like if they're gonna bring back the GameCube games, they really ought to just make them compatible with Pokemon Home and let you transfer them out, you know?
Man.
Because like you actually catch Pokemon in these games. It's not like Stadium where you have to use rentals.
Yes, 1000%.
I think they should do that. It's going to be, I imagine it would be very weird and pretty difficult to make compatibility, but if they could do it for the Game Boy Pokemon games, I think they can do it for this.
Yeah. Okay.
And that would be a huge reason to buy, like, that's a huge reason to buy the expansion pack, you know? Like, these are games people actually give a shit about in modern day, you know? No offense.
Okay, we're gonna have to get back to the direct. I appreciate you coming through, man.
Yeah, I had a lot to say. I'm glad you let me on. This was fun.
Yeah, we're. All right. Peace. Say bye to
Peace.
Mr. SU, y'all. All right. Now we got.
While you feel the bumps and rumbles of the coaster.
This was the Mario Party. We're gonna skip this.
Games.
Um.
Enhanced resolution and frame rates.
Let's talk about this right quick.
Also support HDR, which makes the image more vibrant.
60 FPS.
Smoother
Zelda.
Graphics.
This looks
Plus,
incredible,
you can
man.
get even more out of your adventures in Hyrule using Zelda Notes.
Like
This new feature can
I don't know about this
accessed
Zelda
via
Note
exclusive
stuff.
Guide you to various
Like, okay, cool. I don't need that. This is beautiful,
We
man.
hope these features will make your adventures even more enjoyable.
This is beautiful. Are we got Forgotten Land people in here?
You'll be able to enjoy an additional story exclusive to the
Anybody
Nintendo
played
Switch
Forgotten
2
Land?
edition, along with
ZK
improved
blueprint
graphics
sharing
and
gonna be fun. Yeah. The phone feature was neat. I will say. Ahmed, what's up, man? 60 FPS BOTW is hype 1000%.
That's causing some mysterious changes.
Eclipse
We hope
sharing
you're looking forward to playing
schematics
the new
and
adventure.
Kirby is the best platformer. Wow. The Dilla. I feel like Zelda Notes might work for people that thought BOTW was too light on story. Oh yeah, that is a good interesting point. Wolf. Forgotten Land in my top games ever. Wow. A lot of Forgotten Land hype.
In addition to standard controls, you can use mouse controls for intuitive gameplay on Switch.
Y'all. This is crazy.
You can explore the immersive world in 4K.
Okay,
at 60
let's stop right
frames
here.
per
Let's stop right here.
second, or enjoy
Y'all. This is crazy. 1080p, 120 FPS in handheld mode. 1080p. Because look, let me tell y'all something. I don't give a shit about 120 FPS. I'm sure it looks great, but I don't need all that. Like, what you doing with all that? Too much is a handful. Like, it's more than a handful, I mean. I just need 60 frames per second. Bruh, this is crazy. In handheld mode? That's wild. I was not expecting that. I popped off at this part. Like, that was insane, bro. 30 FPS quality modes are rough. Yeah, this is not the Nintendo. This is a different Nintendo. I was like, okay, who is this? This is a different level. Handheld is 700, but that's totally fine for a screen that. Yeah, bro, let me tell y'all something right now. I'm not the like picky guy about performance or resolution. I'm not that guy. I just need 60 frames and at least 720. I'm one of the last people that can still play games at 720 frame. I mean 720 resolution, 720p. I don't care, to be honest with y'all. Like, so this is crazy. This is crazy for me. The only time I need 60 frames per second is when I'm playing fighting games. Fighting games or like anything arcadey, I need 60 frames. So fighting games, shmups, racing games. But everything else, I don't care. And shooters. But I don't really play shooters like that. But yeah, for stuff like that, I need 60 frames. But for all these other like RPGs and like the atmospheric shit that ain't like, I don't care. I don't care. Just be stable. Don't be stuttering all over the place, and I'll be good. Boss Chopper, what's up? 120 frames per second in the handheld is extremely impressive. Yes, man. Like, this is crazy. This is crazy. Straight up. By the way, let me say something right quick while this is playing. It's kind of hilarious how the frame rate and resolution update didn't do shit for me in terms of how Pokemon's are. I'm still like, this looks like whatever. Art style still not hitting. Like, y'all can keep that. I'll play it. If I do play it, I can play it on the Switch one if I don't have a Switch 2 by then. But the frame rate and resolution did not help Pokemon's eye. It still looked dry. It's like if you season some poop, it's still some poop. You know what I'm saying? You can't really do much with that. $120 frames per second. Phase Journal, what's up? 120 frames per second. Hello Kitty Island Adventure is gonna go crazy. Yeah. Shout outs to I've heard good things about Hello Kitty Island Adventure, actually. Cozy community be going crazy for that game. All right. So this right here, this is where I know that the people at Nintendo are working on the Switch 2 are young, because this is straight up just like Rocket League basketball. Shout outs to them. It's just that the gameplay looks cool, but goddamn, these character designs are just kind of like, what? It doesn't feel very Nintendo. Yeah, Lucid, I agree. They need like an aesthetic. Yeah, they could have used Mii's. I would have taken Mii. They should have made it Mii's. Yeah, this game's gonna, if it was not, yeah. If it wasn't Nintendo, this game would get ignored. Adam Burns, this looks like a generic game that's in a movie. Yeah, 1000%. Dice Bomb, what's up? This definitely feels like the Switch 2's version of ARMS as a controller demo, but with none of the charm. Man, let me say this. ARMS is a real game. I refute the notion that ARMS is a tech demo. That's a real game. But I get what you're saying, though, Dice. I still get what you're saying, but I just want to throw that out there. ARMS is a real game. Shut up, Jay. So glad ARMS wasn't there because I'm spiteful. Yo, fuck you. This is an ARMS support community. We will have none of that, Jay Boulevard. Jay Boulevard slandering ARMS when all you play is Monster Hunter and Splatoon and then go back to watching basketball. Like this is ARMS is for real gamers. ARMS is for the ARMS is for real gamers, not for when I need to take a break from watching basketball. I don't even know if you watch basketball. I think you watch football. I don't know what sport you be talking about when you're on Twitter and shit. But you just play games when you need a break from watching sports. You can't respect ARMS. Yo. Wait, hold on. Who else be watching sport? Frostnix, she's not here right now. But my sports people, Jay Boulevard, Frostnix, and I think Cell Device. Cell Device, you be watching sports too? Okay, let me go back. Let me go back. I'm sorry. I got off track. Elden Ring coming to the Switch. Shout outs to the Elden Ring fans. Are y'all copping this? Are y'all getting this? Y'all getting Elden Ring on the Switch? Nope. Okay, nope. A lot of nopes. Oh, Rossums, what's up, girl? What if it looks like how Mortal Kombat did on Nah. This is a different Nintendo. This Elden Ring is gonna look clean. I don't know if you were talking about Elden Ring, but I think we're done with the bad ports. I think that era is over. We good. Hades 2, I don't care about Hades. I'm not a roguelike guy, but whatever. Now, y'all, let's talk about this. And we're going to get into something next in a bit. Something really big next. But Street Fighter 6 is on the Switch. But that's not the big part. By the way, these amiibos look fire, actually. Except for Luke. I don't like Luke. Okay, hold on. Before we get into the crazy part, before we get into real gaming, Street Fighter 6. They didn't say this in the direct. It has crossplay. Okay, I know I only have one fighting game person in here in Cell Device, but Street Fighter 6 has crossplay on the Switch. Now, if you're not in the fighting game community, I want y'all to understand that this is a very big deal, because up to this point, playing fighting games on the Switch, you don't have a community to play with, really. So a lot of fighting games on Switch just go there to die, pretty much. But now with Street Fighter 6 getting crossplay, this is going to be very big for the genre on Switch, on Nintendo platforms. Very big for the genre, because now you don't have to depend on hoping that Switch users play the game. You can just play it with PS5, Xbox, everybody else. So this is big, and it means that fighting games can support rollback on the Switch now, because I know some games had trouble doing rollback on the Switch. So this is very big for the fighting game community, but I'm not going to go too deep into that. What we are going to get deep into, and we're going to watch the trailer first, okay? Let's be quiet.
two long wars where our freedom was restricted, we will finally be liberated from humans.
I'm in need of a new arsenal, new equipment, and money. I'm for sale, and you're buying.
Rebels! Thanks for the warm welcome!
This planet will be ours.
The Sovereign Axiom, the Trinitas, has almost completed
Oh,
what it was
God.
created.
Oh my God, this is crazy.
No, because we're in the middle
Look,
of a
yo,
war.
look at some of these mech designs, bro. Look at some of these mech designs.
All children, bring hope to our lives.
Straw Hat Namaki, what's up? Thanks for the sub, bro. Like, oh my gosh, y'all. Let's watch that. Hold on, we gotta watch that one more time. We gotta watch this one more time, and then we're gonna have somebody very important that I need to talk to about this. The art style is a little updated. It's less cartoony. The mech designs are a lot more slender. Oh man, the blink is back. The blink is back. And somebody in the chat asked, did I like the first Damon X Machina? Somebody tell this man. Somebody update this man on my history. Somebody. Oh, yo, hold on. This design right here, this mech design right here, I'm gonna pause it at the right time. No, not there. Not that one. Not that one. United Earth Coalition. Oh my God, bro. That shield. This right here. This shit is so sick. I love this, man. Like the variety in the mech designs are so cool. Like, come on, man. Like, yeah, my gosh. For the people who don't know, if you aren't hip, Damon X Machina is made by the former development people from Armored Core, from the original Armored Core, I believe Armored Core 3. Former developers on Armored Core 3 are the people who make Damon X Machina. They formed a new studio, First Studio, and they made a new IP, Damon X Machina, that's kind of a spiritual successor to Armored Core. And the way it's usually described in a simple way is that Damon X Machina is high speed anime Armored Core. Yes, that's a good way to put it, ZK. This is the KOF of Armored Core. That's a good way to put it. It's the KOF of Armored Core. I say Damon X Machina. Maybe it's just Damon Machina. I don't know. But we're gonna get somebody very special on right now. That was also, because if you don't know, I was a big part of. I saw Jalen Devon say it earlier in the chat. I was a big part of kind of discovering the tech for Damon X Machina, for the Damon X Machina community when the game initially came out. I don't like to brag, but I was the one who discovered blade canceling. I was the first one to kind of put that on the map, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was a big deal for me. Now hold up real quick. Hold on, y'all. Hold up. And oh, no signal, bro? Your camera's not showing. Oh, got you. Oh, there he is. How you doing, man? Nah, bro. Nah, you're one of the ones, bro. Yeah. You said what? Yes, through Damon X Machina. Oh, hold on. My bad, y'all. My bad. Yo, he's back. No, y'all. Yeah, this is Eclipse.
Why I look like homeboy on the?
Yeah, put your camera down. Put your camera down. Yeah. Yo, I'm sorry. My bad. This is Eclipse, y'all.
It said I can only see that 5 head.
Yeah, I was just talking to myself.
That's funny. Y'all can't see the pic though.
Y'all can't hear him? Right now, you should be able to hear him. Yeah.
What's good?
It's showing sound on my end, Mr. SU. Okay, yeah. Okay, got you. Okay, no. Look, now let me break it down. I was a big part of the Damon X Machina community, and Eclipse was also a very big part of the Damon X Machina community when it initially launched. He hosted a lot of the tournaments back in the day. Back in the day. Well, how long ago was that? 2020, 2021 now?
We did it for a while. Yeah, probably like 2021, 2022.
That's when it started. Yeah.
We did it for a couple of years.
Yeah. So, y'all are talking to the ones. You know what I'm saying? These like, and Eclipse, if y'all don't know, he's the mod that y'all be seeing in the chat. He's one of the mods. Yeah. Dude, man, what did you think, man?
Super. For 1 second, I was like, "Is this Vanquish?" And then immediately as I said Vanquish, I was like, "No, this is Demon X Machina." Like, I could tell by like how the mechs look. I was like, "Yo, this is Demon X Machina." And then I can talk about this trailer, but I got news, bro. I got more news. Like,
oh wait, what's going on?
There's more. There's more, bro.
There's more. So there's stuff that they didn't say in the direct.
Yes, there's more. I'm about to send it to you right now.
Hold up, y'all.
There's more.
And it's coming out this year, man.
Yo, and that's did that work? That looked weird.
Yeah, no.
About the best thing about the Nintendo Direct, almost every.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Yes, bro. Like everything is coming out this year. No, I got it back, y'all. He just cut out for a little bit. No, like, yeah, dude, everything is coming out this year. Like, which is crazy.
And that's Nintendo's new wave, bro. Like, just every direct, they're not talking about games 2 years, 3 years out anymore. Things are like 6 months out or this year. Like, it's crazy.
Wait, hold on. This is all Japanese.
Yep. So their Japanese YouTube has 2 videos with a lot more gameplay. A lot more, and I haven't watched these yet. So I don't even know what's in them. But somebody linked this to me after I did a breakdown video, and I was like, well, all that information's wrong. But yeah.
Yo, look at this movement, man.
I have not watched this yet. But the melee, the movement is already 200 times better because in the original DXM, you couldn't move vertically very well, right?
Yeah.
This one, they definitely like switched it up where you can
the
get into
arrows.
Yup. That's sick.
Oh my gosh, man.
See, this is the stuff I need too, because why would you have a bow in a mech game? Because it's fucking cool. I need that shit.
Yeah, man. Let's
look at the
fucking
Halo
go,
comment.
man. Yo. So, and dude, I told you when we were texting in the early, I think last week, because he was talking about like getting your YouTube back up, man.
Yeah, I gotta get my.
We gotta go. We gotta go hard, man. We gotta go hard with the Damon X Machina.
I already got 2 videos up on this already. Just
Yeah,
off the trailer. And I
yeah.
haven't watched these yet. Like, dude, I'm so ready. Y'all don't understand. We're doing a fight night tomorrow for DXM. I announced that Monday. I think we decided to do it, and because I just had a feeling they were gonna drop this, bro.
Yeah. And it's smooth, bro.
It looks so clean, bro. Look.
I want to see how they're gonna utilize like the aiming controls, because I don't know how many people did, but I used gyro a lot in the original Damon X Machina.
Most people use gyro. Most people use gyro on mouse and keyboard.
Yes, gyro, because if y'all don't know, Damon X Machina is very fast.
Yeah.
It's a very fast game. So like you need to be able to aim quickly and all that sort of stuff. September, man.
Bro, and they look like too, like they just kind of like combine a lot of like the half-hearted features I thought they had, because that was my problem with like the pilot system.
Oh,
and
meta. That's very meta. They suggested myself. That's crazy.
And then, that's fire.
Nah, bro. Like that.
That's fire.
Yeah, this is like really. This is gonna be
Nah, it's
huge.
gonna be crazy. I honestly, though, it might be better than 4 Answers, bro.
What you
This
saying?
might be
Like
the one. Armored Core
Oh
4?
no. Oh, you're saying like Damon X Machina Titanic gonna be better than Armored Core for Answer?
This might be the one.
I can see it. Because honestly,
be the one.
let me say this, and then we're gonna get your overall thoughts on the direct. Damon X Machina 1, in my opinion, is at least in the same league as Armored Core 4 Answer.
Mm-hmm.
The only issue with Damon X Machina 1 was the enemy design, because I feel like the enemies after a while they were very like, how do I say, like fodder, like they weren't really interactive, you know what I'm saying?
No, they weren't unique at all.
Yeah,
They were
like
like floating. They were just targets, you know, almost
Yeah.
like floating targets. They kind of shot back at you sometimes. The bosses
Yeah.
I thought were good, but everything else was.
Nah, man. Like, yeah, this is sick, dude. What were your overall thoughts on the direct, though? Before we get back,
Honestly, everything I thought was fire. Like for me, like with the GameCube games coming in the Virtual Console, all the games they announced. Again, everything dropping this year. Donkey Kong looked good. The third-party support, which is what all Switch was lacking, was third-party support.
Yeah.
So now they pretty much got it all. Like I was talking with my sister because we was watching it together, and I was like, "Yo, like all they needed was like a big game like Marvel Rivals, and then why do you have a PS5?"
Now we're gonna get into you're getting ahead. You're getting a little ahead.
my bad.
No.
But
We gonna see. We
like,
gonna see,
this
man.
I think it's good. The price thing is a little worrisome, and I haven't paid $70 for a game.
I think I've only
Monster
paid.
Hunter I almost paid $70 for Monster Hunter. I ended up getting that on sale on PC,
Yeah.
but I usually wait until, especially single player games, because I just don't play too many games at launch anymore.
Yeah.
But what's scary about Nintendo games is they don't drop in price.
Nope. No.
They don't drop in price. Because I could wait for Mario Kart. I could wait for, but how long you gonna wait? Like,
I will say
especially-
this.
I do game nights and stuff on my disc. Like we do that for fun, and family comes over, we play video games and stuff like that. Like I'll be wanting to play these games when they come out. Sometimes, especially multiplayer games. So that's a big deal for me. But $80 is, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
$80 is a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot, man. I don't think it's gonna be every game, but is I don't know. I will say this, and we're gonna get into this conversation more later, but I want to kind of start it off a little bit with you. With the price and all the post conversation going on around how Nintendo's handling the Switch 2, do you think the Switch 2 is gonna do well?
Yeah, I still think it's gonna be fine. I do think it's not gonna be like I think people thought it was gonna come and like blow everything away. And reality is just economically, the world isn't doing great.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like I think that's gonna and we're seeing that with the prices, but I think that's gonna be have a bigger effect than people were thinking.
Yeah.
I really do think some people really thought Switch 2 was about to be $300 with $60 game still. And that's just not realistic. And then I work with tariffs like every day. Like, even if you don't think it's affecting you, even if you're not in our country, it's affecting you. Trust me. So, and it could get worse. It could get worse.
Yeah.
But we gonna see. I think Nintendo kind of priced everything in a way that makes sense for them. I do think Nintendo's gonna be fine. I think most people will pay the $80. And most people are gonna get the bundle for sure.
That bundle is gonna sell. Yeah. That bundle's gonna sell.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's how they always sell Mario Kart. I mean, besides at least since the Wii, right? Wii U.
Yeah.
Like it came with the Switch. Eventually, Mario Kart's on the bundle, even if it doesn't drop. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I think it's gonna be fine though. I really think it's gonna be fine. I think it might have a slower burn than we thought. I'm still like looking at my stocks, wondering if I should sell.
I was looking at my stocks this morning too. I was like, it didn't go up that much. You know, it was like, I might sell them.
I want to sell before the drop because I know it's gonna drop. Do I wait till?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's gonna drop pretty soon. Like I think the Nintendo stocks. Well, the other thing too is like I might keep them until the Switch drops.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, because I didn't go crazy with how much I just put like $100 or something in there. I didn't go crazy with it.
I bought this like a while ago. I didn't buy this because Switch 2 is coming out. I bought
this
like a while.
Yeah, but no, I actually Burgundy. I actually have Nintendo stock.
And I'm not even like I don't. This is a whole different conversation. Like
that's a different
When I buy stocks, I buy stuff that I believe in.
Exactly. Yeah.
I buy Nintendo. I knew I was gonna buy Nintendo. Like
this isn't a finance stream, but let me. I'm gonna say this real quick. Because I don't want to turn this into a finance stream. I buy stocks for things I'm like knowledgeable about, and I buy stocks like I have one stock in like something safe, like Coca-Cola. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's all I do. I'm not like a finance. I don't go crazy with it. I don't got stocks in like a million different things. I have but okay, no finance stock. But bro, we're gonna continue to direct. Dude, I appreciate you, man. We're gonna.
We might maybe you got to be on my platform, but
call me, man. Call me, man. Like I'm gonna get on there.
Because I still ain't even watched the other video yet. So
yeah. All right, let me know, man.
All right, for sure. All right, y'all be out. It's always fun. I'm always here. Peace.
All right, man. Say bye to Eclipse, y'all. Nah, man, Daemon X Machina, man. Y'all are gonna be hearing a lot from. If y'all thought I was annoying about Xenoblade X, it's not gonna stop. I'm about to be equally annoying about Daemon X Machina 2. It's about to get crazy. Yeah, man. So we talked about Daemon X Machina 2. I'm skimming through the direct up here at the top. Does anybody care about Cyberpunk Tony Hawk, Hogwarts, Split Fiction, all this stuff. Bravely Default. What else is here? Oh no, we're skipping all that. GK, let me know if Damon X Machina has less talk. Man, bro, skip cutscenes like the rest of us, bro. Just skip the cutscenes. I'm doing all. Stop being. Damon X Machina is fine. Frostum said Bravely Default is lit, please. Okay, let's look at Damon Bravely Default for a little bit. I was about to say Damon X Machina. Let me turn on the sound. All right, for my RPG people, for my turn-based RPG people, here you go. Bravely Default. What does that even mean, Bravely Default? I'm not even trying to be funny. What does Bravely Default mean?
Enjoy your adventure with upgraded features.
I'm brave by default.
And all new minigames with unique.
I got courage by default.
Square Enix presents the classic fantasy RPG.
I love turn-based games, but man, I just cannot get into Bravely Default. It's the core system and kind of a mentality. Bravely Default being a mentality is hilarious. It's the mechanic.
セガ龍が如くスタジオ代表の横山です。我々がお送りするタイトルは龍が如くゼロ誓いの場所ディレクターズカットです。1988年東京と大阪2つの歓楽街を舞台に土地を巡る争奪戦が勃発。伝説の始まりを追加シーンとともにお楽しみください。発売日は任天堂スイッチ2の発売と同じ日です。今後のシリーズ展開にもぜひご期待ください。
We'll have more games to show from our publishing and
All right,
development
cool.
partners. But for now, we'd
We're
like
done
to show
with
a game
that.
being developed in collaboration with Nintendo. Please take a look.
Let's look at what's next. Y'all. Come on. Y'all. Come on. Where my Hyrule Warriors at? Where my Hyrule Warriors at? Where my Hyrule... Jay. Okay, Jay. Just go watch football or something, man. Go back and watch your football, bro. We Hyrule Warriors over here. We Warriors over here.
You truly have tried.
Hyrule Warriors is back. It's fucking peak. DeFritos, I seen you in the chat, bro.
So that's Hyrule Castle?
We are back.
Then that must mean this really is.
Hey, Rossums, thanks for the sub. Yo, y'all, make sure y'all subscribe to Rossums too. She's cool as fuck. She's very entertaining. You know what I'm saying? Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to her, man. I promise you will enjoy it. I promise you. Serendipity is a Warriors game. I'ma be there no matter. Yes, sir. We back. Yo, how many of y'all play Age of Calamity? This winter? I forgot they said this is coming in the winter. Yo. Okay. Let me say something right quick. Let me say two things. One, Age of Calamity, I don't give a fuck about no frame rate. That game is underrated. Fuck the frame rate. Fuck all that. That game has soul. That game is fire. And the first Hyrule Warriors is fire too. The first, you know, okay, let me say this. Age of Calamity, how I like to describe it is that Age of Calamity is like when an anime TV series gets a movie spinoff that just does cool shit that the anime TV series doesn't do. Like y'all watch Pokemon, right? The anime. Y'all know how the movies just go crazy and start getting real dramatic and emotional and higher stakes. That is Age of Calamity. I don't care if it's not canon. It's like how anime movies aren't canon a lot of the times. That's Age of Calamity. That shit is fire, man. DeFritos, losing frames is your reward for... You get it. You get it. When that frame rate be dropping, that's how you know it's getting crazy. That's how you know it's getting crazy in Hyrule Warriors. Yo, do not sleep on this game, man. And let's talk about this one. Let's talk about this one. Age of Imprisonment, this new one. Even, yes, it's canon. They're saying it's canon. Praise God. But also, now the thing is, we can't talk about, that was scary. Almost went back to Yakuza there. But now we can't have people complaining about the frame rate. We can't have people complain. Like, now y'all got to talk about the game. Shut up, Kiru say. Be quiet, man. Yo, no excuse now. Now we can actually talk about how fire the game is. On top of that, I really hope that they do an update for Age of Calamity so that people can really appreciate that game. That game deserves, like, appreciate. Like, this is so fire, man. Come on, man. Rossums, I feel frame rate drops as part of the Musou experience too. If you're really rocking with Dynasty Warriors, you done seen a frame drop on the Musou. Yes, yes, yes. The frame rate dropping is a part of the soul, man. I'ma miss it. But now people gotta play. Now you gotta play.
That
No
was Hyrule
excuses.
Warriors Age of Imprisonment. It's being developed by Koei Tecmo Games with support from Nintendo. We hope you're looking forward to the untold story of the Imprisoning War, which took place in Hyrule long ago.
ZK, I got your request. I'm gonna add you in a bit.
And now, some news about Nintendo Switch Online.
Okay, we're gonna get through this part and then we're gonna have another call. I think Raz wants to talk.
And with Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack, you can enjoy a new membership benefit exclusively on Switch 2. Please take a look at this.
Come on, man.
Online Plus expansion pack.
Come on,
dedicated to
man.
new classic game library
GameCube, baby.
exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2.
GameCube, baby.
Nintendo GameCube, originally released in 2001. Here are the titles that
We
were
back,
available at
baby.
launch.
Hold on.
A Legend of Zelda game that looks like a cartoon come to life through cell shading. Controlling the wind using a mysterious baton, Link
Hold
sets
on.
sail on an
Let me
adventure
show y'all
across the
something.
Great Sea. The Legend of Zelda, The
Let
Wind
me show
Waker.
y'all something. We back.
Transcending history and the
We
world.
back.
A tale of souls and swords eternally
Sorry, I
retold.
had to
In this 3D
had to find it.
weapons-based fighting game, each fighter comes equipped with a different weapon.
I had to go through the trenches. We back.
Soul Calibur 2.
We back.
Experience
Come on now.
white knuckle racing at speeds over 2,000
F-Zero GX. Yo, I swear to God, if y'all don't play F-Zero GX, because I know that's the one y'all claim, that's the one that y'all be talking about. Because y'all don't want to play F-Zero X, y'all don't want to play F-Zero 99.
or online.
Bruh, I swear to God, if y'all ignore this game,
With clearer image quality and
I don't want no
higher resolution than the
excuses.
original releases. You can also check the controls for each title and customize them to your liking. More titles will be added in the future.
Yes.
Nintendo
And the Pokemon games coming too. Come on now. Come on now. F-Zero GX is one of the fastest games I'm so hyped for
Launches the
this.
same day as the hardware's release.
I'm so hyped for this.
And a dedicated controller designed after the original game.
I already got one.
Also be released.
I already got one. What's up?
It can connect
I don't need that.
and also
I don't
has
need
the
that. I already
C
got
button
one.
to quickly access
Come on now.
game chat.
Come on now.
The Nintendo
I'm good.
GameCube controller,
I'm good.
exclusively
Yo,
available
we
for
gotta
Nintendo
run some
Switch
GameCube
Online
nights.
members, will
Yes.
also be available the same day as Nintendo Switch 2.
Whether you're familiar with the games
Come on
or
now.
haven't played them before,
Never forget that.
looking forward to
That's
Nintendo
all we got.
GameCube, Nintendo Classics.
Yo, I'm so hyped for F-Zero GX.
You can continue
Ju-
to play select games.
Yo, and just to let y'all
shown
know,
here on Nintendo Switch
just to let y'all know straight up, because I haven't answered my own question.
publishing and development partners.
I'm getting a Switch 2 at launch. I'm sorry. I have worked too hard to get to the point I'm at in life now. I have a good job. I have a 401k. I have my own place. You know what I'm saying? I do I have car payments now. You know? Like I'm investing in shit like that. I got a high yield savings account and shit. You know, I'm getting it at launch. I'm sorry. I worked too hard. I worked too hard. Let me pause this because I know the Gen Z people need to watch Deltarune. But, yo, I worked too hard for this. I worked too hard to get to be like, I'm going to wait. No. And I'm not saying I'm the richest guy. I'm not the richest guy in the world, but I'm 34. So I've had time to go. I've had my struggle phase. In my 20s, let me tell y'all something, man. In my 20s, after I worked with Isaiah Rashad and SZA, you know, in California, and there was nothing left for me to do out there but survive, I was living in Los Angeles, 1-bedroom apartment with my brother. You know, struggling, working at CVS, you know, trying to make ends meet, selling controllers. I still sell controllers, but you know, I lived in Neo Los Angeles for sure. Let me tell y'all something. There was one day I came back from work. No, not even I came back from work. I woke up. Chibu, what's up, man? Hey, that's my brother. That's my brother in the chat. That's my brother. That's my brother in the chat, y'all. Yo, okay. But no, listen. 1-bedroom apartment, sharing a bedroom with my brother. And I woke up in the morning to go to work. Y'all want to know what the fuck happened? Y'all want to know what the fuck happened to me? I went to my car, getting ready to drive to work. My car battery was stolen. I woke up and someone stole my car battery. I was like, I didn't even know people did that. I didn't know that was a thing that people did. And mind you, I'm living check to check. You know what I'm saying? Working at CVS, doing the best I can. You know, and I'm in Los Angeles, bro. I had to walk luckily I lived in a walkable neighborhood. I had to walk all the way to AutoZone. My brother was at work, right? So I had to walk to AutoZone, buy a new battery, and carry that battery all the way back to my car. on the street, like, and it was like a 15-20 minute walk of I don't know if y'all carried a yes Driz, car batteries are very heavy. I don't know if y'all have held a car battery before. Them things are heavy. And then my car was down a hill, so I had to walk down the hill, long ass hill, with the car battery, struggling. You know what I'm saying? This was 2022, 2021. No, not 20. No, this was 2019. I'm sorry. This was 2019. And yeah, that was my life in Los Angeles. But now, I work a cozy job. You know what I'm saying? It's a crazy commute, but it's whatever. I get to sit down at the job sometimes, a lot of the times. I got health insurance. I have a decent car, my Toyota Corolla. I named it Ryoko. Silver, you know. I got good car payments, good credit, you know what I'm saying? Health insurance. Come on now. So when I see that $450 price for that Switch 2, I'm not thinking to myself, oh man. I'm thinking about when I got my car battery stolen. I'm thinking about that. And I'm like, you know what? I deserve this. I deserve this. So before y'all talk about like why is he getting the Switch 2 at long? Just remember the car battery. Just remember the car battery. And you'll be like, you know what? I get it. I get it. Okay? So that's all I got. Where the Gen Zers at? Deltarune. Where my Gen Z at? Let's go. Oh, and it's launch day. Oh, good for y'all, man.
I'm Randy from Gearbox. Borderlands 4, our upcoming flagship.
He keeps saying Gen Z, but I really like Deltarune, and I'm 32. Hey, man. You know, sometimes there's crossover. There's crossover, you know.
Wild enemies and outrageous weapons. We're still in development.
Oh, LJ, what's up? And we're going to talk about that, too. Oh, yeah, let's skip this. Ew, Borderlands. Ew.
With the new Civ 7 Switch version. Hi, I'm
armed with nothing but youthful enthusiasm.
What else is in this direct? Because this is getting, now they're going through all this. I don't really care about. Oh, Cyberpunk.
Action adventure RPG set in Night City. Thanks to Nintendo Switch 2, you can transport yourself.
Y'all think this is gonna run well?
Or on the go.
Because I haven't played Cyberpunk yet. I might play this on PC. I don't think I want to play this on Switch 2, to be honest. I do eventually want to play Cyberpunk, but yeah, I think I want to play it on PC.
スクエアエニックスの浜口です。Nintendo Switch 2で Final Fantasy 7 リメイク
Yeah, I want to get it on PC for sure.
本作はミッドガル脱出までを描いた3部作シリーズの
It's not even about like I don't know why. I just feel like I gotta play Cyberpunk on PC. I don't know why. I don't know.
Switch 2で展開する
Any Final Fantasy 7 people? This kind of showed up and like let me get Burgundy on here. Burgundy, are you still here? Burgundy, you still here? Yeah, hold on. Let me call Burgundy. shit. What the fuck? Hold up, man. I got you.
Wait. Hold up. Coming through?
Yes, sir. What's up?
Hey, what's good? What's good? I was getting a double audio for a second because I had the stream on, so I gotta make sure we're good here.
No,
Yeah,
Burgundy.
all right.
How you doing, man?
That's good, man. I'm running on like 4 hours sleep. So
Dude, it's been
I'm
it's been a
I'm
day,
tucking and
man.
going.
Yeah.
It's funny because so I went to work at 10 in the morning, or I had work at 10. So I spent most of my commute, not the 9 o'clock hour, watching what I could of the direct, like getting bits and pieces of it. And then I saw the end, and then like I had to go basically straight into work. So yeah, that was fun.
yeah. Dude, I know you're one of the RPG people here. That's just what I associate. I just feel I just like, oh, that's one of my the RPG people. What were your thoughts? I think I can kind of gauge what might have stood out to you, but in general, what did you think about the direct and everything that happened?
Okay, so this is gonna sound nuts, but I almost kind of feel like my RPG thing, like I seem like the RPG guy, but it almost feels like Stolen Valor because like I'm not really playing as many RPGs. And ironically enough, one of the biggest RPGs of this thing, I feel like Bravely Default getting a Switch 2 port. For me, it's kind of weird because I figured if they were going to do a 3DS or a DS port of a game, it would have been something that was heavier on the touchscreen, right?
Yeah,
Like, you know,
1000%.
show off the mouse controls. Like, that's kind of what I was looking for. I mentioned it in chat before, but it is kind of funny to me. Such a little bit like, that the one rail shooter thing in the Switch 2 Direct was that one mini game from the Mario Party game.
Oh yeah. I was hoping we get rail shooters with this new mouse functionality, you know.
Listen, brother, my biggest shot in the dark was I'm pretty sure that it was just Radiant Silvergun, but I was like, this is gonna be the thing that Treasure said they were working on like
I
all
was
those months ago.
hoping, man,
right?
Sin and
It's gonna be
Punishment 3 or
Sin and
something.
Punishment 3.
You're like, please, man. Like, but yeah, no, we gotta wait. They gotta let the Switch 2 sell a little bit, you know, and then they gon' and look, let me say this on Sin and Punishment 3, and then, you know, I want to hear more of what you got to say. But
yeah,
I think Sin and Punishment 3, if it happens, this is gonna sound crazy to say, but I don't think they're gonna get Treasure to work on it. Even though Treasure was the developer, Nintendo owns the IP, and I think the original people who worked on Sin and Punishment are gone now to do other stuff. So I think Nintendo is probably gonna get a group of people to, I guess, study how Sin and Punishment worked probably, and then get them to try to do their take on Sin and Punishment, even though it won't be from Treasure. I feel like Treasure now is just like a skeleton studio.
Yeah. Ultimately, that's kind of where they're at. Like, maybe they'll get some of the individual people who worked on it. Like, I imagine they're probably working, like, this is going to sound rude, but I don't really think they're busy like that.
Yeah, nah, yeah.
They could probably get a hold of them if they really were trying to.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on, let me see some of the stuff we haven't touched on much. Okay, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
What were your overall thoughts on like the Nintendo Switch 2 edition stuff? Like the upgrade system and all that.
Okay.
Like how they handled that. I think we talked about it earlier with Lucario, but yeah.
Yeah, this is super interesting and something that I have actually been mulling over all day. I also mentioned it a bit in the topic in the chat.
Yeah.
But so my big fear here is the way they're handling this. I don't know that it's going to be a one-to-one with how PlayStation does it, which is the easiest frame of reference. And if they don't, then it's going to come off as a little scummy almost. Like, okay, so to be like explicit, like instead of beating around the bush, the way that games work on the PS5, like PS4 games. If you put a PS4 game into your PS5, it'll play it, and that PS4 game will benefit from the extra power. Loading times will be cut down crazily. It'll like frame rate is going to be a lot steadier. Like it's not going to have as many frame rate drops
without an update.
Just, like, not just be
without an
update.
Wow.
Yes, this is not with an update, right?
Yeah.
This is just like a baseline thing. And then the update is a separate thing where essentially, like they'll be like, oh, there's a PS5 version of it and you can upgrade to that PS5 version. Sometimes it'll be free. Sometimes it'll be a paid upgrade path, like $10 most of the time, sometimes $20 if they're on crack. It's a bit of a whole thing.
Yeah.
Right. So it varies. But the baseline is that the things will benefit from just like the extra power of the PS5.
Yeah.
Right. So that means that it was fun. It's, and I almost feel like that's funnily enough why we're where we're at right now, because that kind of led to weird things like the PS4 versions of certain games were kind of better in certain ways. Like I remember around launch, like people were saying that the PS4 version of Metaphor was better to get and play on PS5.
Oh,
because,
yeah.
I think you remember that part. Yeah, where the frame rate was more, because the graphics were a little bit less intensive, it was a lot more of a stable 60 FPS.
Gotcha.
Meanwhile, the PS5 version looked better, but it had many more drops. Right?
Wow.
And then, like with being able to buy a PS4 version of a game and then either upgrade that or even just play that normally, a lot of the time the PS4 version would be cheaper. So that was just a way of like saving a little bit and basically like kind of gaming the system almost. And I feel like this is almost exactly what Nintendo had in mind with how they're handling it here, because so the way that they have this set up is that the games that are $80 are most of them are games that were on the Switch, but they're the upgrade version of it, right?
Yeah.
And the upgrade coincides with what would be like an upgrade path essentially. Like Breath of the Wild on Switch 2 is $70, right? So that would be Breath of the Wild, $60 plus a $10 upgrade path. Breath of the Wild 2, or not Breath of the Wild 2, it's not what it's called. Tears of the Kingdom is $70, and then the Switch 2 version is $80. So that means that, it's a $10 upgrade path. Mario Party, it's a $20, it's $80, it's a $20 upgrade path. That one has a bit more extra content, and same for Kirby, right?
Yeah.
All of this is basically them accounting for what would be the upgrade. So while Sony has like the PS4 version of a game and then the PS5 version of the game, and then like there's usually the PS5 version will be maybe $10 more. It'll be a similar thing. But then like Nintendo's taking that a step further where they're bumping that price up a little bit more to account for it, because a lot of the time, like you'd be able to get PS5 games or even PS4 games, you could get them a lot cheaper. You could get a certain PS4 games, because they're PS4, on sale for a lot cheaper, and then you pay a $10 upgrade path and you've still saved a whole lot compared to getting it on PS5.
Yes.
So
yeah.
It feels like, PS5, like Nintendo is very explicitly trying to avoid this situation of gaming the system by taking advantage of the backwards compatibility.
Gotcha.
Right?
So Armagon mentioned this too. You do get the upgrades for free if you get Nintendo Switch Online expansion.
Some of them, yes. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are both free if you have the expansion, but I think those are the only two as of right now. They will probably add more, but then Nintendo's kind of like, flighty, so it's hard to really rely on that as a metric, or like say this game will get it specifically and this game won't, or use that as a guiding point in your financial decisions.
Yeah. You know what? I will say, I think, and this is kind of one of the slimy parts of what I think Nintendo is doing.
Yeah.
I think they're making everything so convoluted that you can't really, it's hard to critique it, because a lot of people just won't even know what the hell is going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, oh, Zelda is free, but some aren't free. Oh, there's also free updates, but then some are $10. If you get Nintendo Switch Online expansion, then you get all it. I think they're kind of just, and I think that's also why they didn't talk about everything in the Direct, because it will also be a little overwhelming, you know?
I think so, yeah.
So yeah, I don't think that's kind of something that I think is going to be, I think that's why I feel the Switch 2 is still going to do fine, is because I'm not sure people know what's going on. I don't think everyone is clear on what's $80, what's $70, how do you get an upgrade, XYZ. I think people are just going to be so overwhelmed by how convoluted all of this is that they're just going to be like, oh, fuck it, give me Mario Kart, I don't know. You know, and then just leave and just keep it moving.
Yeah, I get that. I also do
Yeah.
feel like I think there's an element of that. And one of the things that I thought was interesting when I was looking through the prices is the lack of standardization. Like,
Yes. Yeah.
you know that Bravely Default being $40 was legitimately shocking to me, because people have been saying for years, like, oh, how can they release a 3DS port of a game on the Switch and it's like $60? It's more than it was when it launched. And it's like, they're like, oh, okay, so here's a 3DS remaster. It's $40. Here you guys go.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Street Fighter 6 being $60, it's like aside from all of this, because it seems like there's a huge lack of standardization. They're letting a lot of individual devs like this dictate the price points that they're trying to sell things at. So that's going to lead to more of a situation like I think back in the day, where games didn't have as much of a standardized price. It wasn't just like, oh yeah, games are about this much. It's like 50, like in the PS2 and PS3 era, roughly, it was like games are $50. Maybe sometimes you'll get lucky and like one is like a slight discount at 40, but most of the time it's $50 and then it's $60 and eventually it got to be 70. Now games are whatever price. It's like the SNES era where marquee titles are going to be the cream of the crop, are going to be like, you know, $80 or something like that. But then like lower end stuff, or stuff that doesn't quite have as much associated with it, is going to end up being, you know, like it could be 60, it could even go as low as 40, right? That's another reason that, I don't think this is going to meaningfully move the needle, because I think we've either had this conversation. I don't know. I don't actually think we had this conversation, but I think we're of a similar opinion, because like we've talked about like the state of game pricing like before, in terms of people are like, oh, how could this game cost this much, right? And then like I remember when people were complaining that Metroid Prime Remaster was $40, like how could this cost $40? When people were complaining that Bomb Rush Cyberpunk was $25, like how could this game be $25? That's too expensive. What? Oh no, it wasn't $25, was it? It was $30, I think.
30.
It was 30.
Yeah. But I did hear people
that's
complain
what it
about
was.
that. Yeah.
That's what happened. Yeah, they were like, "It's 30? That's way too much." And it's like, I think we have to just be honest and say, if you're the kind of person that this moves the needle for, I mean, putting aside financial situations, because
of course,
I can't speak to everybody. Yeah, I need to say that because, you know.
yeah.
But ultimately, I don't think that this is something that moves the needle for a lot of people, where if you were gonna skip a game because of this price point, you just weren't that interested in it in the first place.
Yeah. Agreed. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. 1000% agree. I think that's one aspect of this that people don't want to admit, is that like sometimes when they complain about price, I mean, granted, Mr. SU, he be standing on business, because he was like, no, I ain't buying Pokemon Za. You know, I'm fucking, you know. So Mr. SU is one of the few people who be standing on business. But I think most people, if you are a big fan of something and it does like, oh, $10 extra. Like, think about your favorite game of all time, like getting a sequel. Your favorite game of all time, like getting a sequel. If it's a little overpriced, you're not going to skip it.
Yeah.
You're not going to skip it. Like, that's the only time you're going to skip stuff like that is if you're just like, I was on the fence anyway. You know, but I don't know. That's just, you're right. I agree with you 1000%, man. Yeah.
But and it's
yeah.
like people almost feel like either guilty or like they have to justify it. It's like, oh yeah, the reason I don't want to play this is because it's too much money. And it's like too much money is alternatively 30, 40, 60, 70, 80. And it's like it's all this stuff. There's no hard line. Like, I mean, you mentioned he was standing on business, and that's fair. But this is a lot more nebulous. There's no like one standard. I think I said it before. Yeah, like there's certain games that I'll pay $70 for at launch. I'll buy DLC, and there's certain games that I won't buy at $20. It's just how it is. Like some stuff just doesn't catch my interest.
Yeah, like I'm glad you said that, because that's something I think people be capping about. Like, I'm not gonna buy it because it's 80. No, but also one more thing on this. One more thing I want to say on this is that it's very scary what Nintendo is doing. Not necessarily because like, oh, you know, this is the end of the world. Da 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 da. One thing people need to consider about Nintendo's audience is that a lot of them aren't in our circles. A lot of people who buy Nintendo systems, and I remember this back when I don't want to say when I worked retail, but like I was around people who worked retail. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people who buy Nintendo systems are families, parents, you know, kids, like that crowd of people. I think people underestimate how much of those people buy Nintendo systems. It's a lot of those people. So I think even when we're talking about these conversations about $80 or upgrade to this, or oh, the chat feature is a little laggy here. Oh no, like that's not affecting a mom don't care about that shit. When they're like, oh, do this play Mario? Does this play Mario Kart? My kid loves Mario Kart. You know, and like I know a lot of people who are more they play stuff like Mario Party and Animal Crossing and things like that. Like that crowd of people too. That they aren't necessarily families, but they might be like casual gamers or whatever. They just pick up the Switch and they're like, oh, I got Animal Crossing, I'm so happy. And then they're like, okay, that's it. That's all. They're not keeping up with it like we're keeping up with it. So some of these conversations we're having are just like splitting hairs. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly,
Whereas Nintendo sees the big picture of like, oh yeah, you know, we got the bombs.
Yeah, because there are a lot of people that, I mean, I did work retail. I worked at GameStop for a couple of years.
Oh, okay,
yeah. Not just specifically like the more casual like family people, but there are people that come into GameStop like once a year to buy the new FIFA, right? And then every so often the Ultimate Team Pack points, right? Or the new 2K, right? And that's all they do. They are not connected to gaming on the whole. They are not getting stuff. They come in for 2K, Black Ops, one of those big things, and they will sit down and they play that.
Frostnix, what's up?
Yeah.
Go on.
No, you're fine. And for those people, they're gonna, like, it's not gonna move the needle. They'll be like, oh, it's 70 now? Okay, because they're not buying that many games, really. Realistically, I think most people aren't buying that many games, and that might actually be part of the reason this is a thing, because people are looking at this from the perspective of like, oh, I have to spend $70 every time a new game comes out. And it's like, most people aren't buying every new game that comes out.
Bro, I was just talking to my brother about this. Even when PS5 and Xbox Series X started doing the $70 prices and whatever, I'm gonna be real with y'all. You can clip this if you want to. I did not give a fuck, because I'm not one of those people that be buying shit. Not only am I not one of those people that be buying new shit every like month or every week, or I maybe buy like 2 in terms of new big marquee games, maybe 5 a year if I'm getting a little crazy and loose with it.
Yeah.
But I'm a big retro guy. I play a lot of old stuff. I play a lot of singular games for a long period of time. So these conversations about $70, $80, when I spend money on a big game, it's like a event. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really feel that impact of like $70, $80 like everybody else does, because it's so rare for me to just play these big games all the time. You know?
Yeah. This makes me think, because I'm like, but so who actually is the Venn diagram to get mad at this? Because somebody who has spent buying games that frequently, for them, obviously money isn't an issue. So it's like, y'all are going to be fine. Like, I can't imagine that it's somebody who can't afford that many games. You're just not buying that many games. Like, I don't mean to, I can't speak to, again, I cannot speak to everybody's financial situation, but I cannot imagine that if you wanted a game and you're going to buy it and they're like, you're going to get $60 on it, and then like it's 70, it's like, oh no, I'm not going to get it now. You won't save it, wait like an extra week or so and save the extra $10. Like, I can't imagine who, like, you're not buying that many games, or you shouldn't if you're not in a position where you can't be affording them.
Yeah.
It just feels like kind of complaining for its own sake, like miserliness. Just because.
Now,
like,
let me say this. You're correct, but also I think pricing for anything, half of it is real life circumstances, and the other half of it is psychological. So
very true.
So even if, right, it's just $10, it doesn't feel like it when you see it. You know what I'm saying? It's more of a consumer psychology thing. And that is my concern. Because something like Metroid, right? Metroid Prime, I'm almost certain they're going to put that at 70. I'm praying they don't do 80 for Metroid Prime 4, because some of these franchises are pretty niche already, right? So even if from a consumer psychology perspective, it shouldn't be a big deal, I know how people are going to actually act on it. People are going to actually be like, I don't want to spend $10 more, even if $10 is just lunch on break at work. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely a psychological thing. So, and let me say this, just to cover your ass too. I do understand that for certain people, it still is a lot. You know, I do understand that certain people are in different financial situations, and even if they might only get one game a year, right? They have to be very careful about whatever that one game is, you know? So
very true.
So $80 might add up for some people, you know, and I get it, well, whatever. But to your point, I think there are more people complaining to complain than there are people in that situation. I think.
I really think so.
You know, so yeah. And Jay, this is gonna be Jay in the chat. People also massively devalue how much you really get out of games.
That's true.
I'm gonna save that for another stream. But like, I don't want to get too deep into that, because I don't
play retro games, so
yeah.
We're familiar with that. We just had this thing get rid of the default.
Yeah. But anything else though? Anything else? That was a good conversation. That was good.
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you want to shout out or point out before we wrap up the direct?
I mean, yeah, it was basically, I just thought that the way that they were pricing everything, it's it's interesting, and I'm a little worried, but also like a little almost excited in a sense, because that lack of standardization also does leave room for things like Bravely Default, for games being like, yeah, we're gonna charge like $40 for this game or $50 for this game, and it's like, I think that's cool. I think that there's a lack of standardization there means that, yeah, the marquee titles, they might be a little on the pricier side, but I don't have to get every marquee title.
There you
And
go.
I mean, I wasn't in the first place. So it's like, I think it's going to be cool if they actually do start bringing more 3DS remasters over, and they're only in the realm of like their priced budget titles, like $40, maybe $50 or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is Kid Icarus Uprising before the end of the year for sure.
Please, let's go. On that note,
genuinely, yeah.
No, go on.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, I was genuinely pulling like this will be what they show off the mouse control with. Like
I
this
was
is gonna
praying,
be like
man. I was praying.
No, but
I
we're definitely
really
getting.
wanted it.
I do think we're gonna get more 3DS games. So it's like it's one closer. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen for sure.
Man, we need that Kid Icarus, man. If y'all haven't played Kid Icarus Uprising and you have a 3DS, even if it does eventually come to Switch too, still play it. It's a great game, even on 3DS, man. I love that game so much.
Just maybe pace yourself, like you don't want to ruin your hand.
yeah. Pace it, definitely. Bro, I appreciate you coming through, man.
I appreciate you having me, man. Honestly, yeah, I love these conversations. Have a good time, man.
Yeah, thank you, man, for real. All right.
Take care.
Okay. Y'all, that's also one thing that I do want to talk about is like the value of games, and how I do feel like for a while we've been kind of spoiled on some of these things. And I think this year is going to be one of those years, especially with GTA about to come out, where what's the saying? The chickens are going to come home to roost. So, I mean, our time might be up. Our time might be up when it comes to that. It sucks, but Raven, what's up? I have 1K in the savings for the Switch 2. Any financial obstacles can be overcome if you're smart. Amen. Man, okay. I want to shout this out just to, give some balance to the conversation. Doc Carnero says, man, in non-developed countries, most people struggle to even afford $60 games. These price hikes just segregate more people to getting into gaming. You're correct, Carnero. But let me say this. This doesn't have to do with what you're saying, because what you're saying is totally valid. But I want to say this right quick. And it's off topic. This doesn't have to do with the Switch or anything. It's just a general statement. I don't like how some people associate being into gaming with playing everything that's a part of the zeitgeist. I think the person who's still playing DS games, the person who's playing GBA games, the person who's playing emulators, the person who's, playing mobile games or whatever, they're still into gaming. You get what I'm saying? Matter of fact, they probably got it better than the people who are just playing whatever the new hot thing is. I think I want us to move away from this idea that you can't be considered a part of gaming if you're not keeping up with the latest thing. You know what I mean? There's so many ways to be into gaming. There's people who just play fan games. You know what I'm saying? There's people who just play retro stuff. There's people who only play League of Legends. You know? And they're still gaming. That's still gaming, in my opinion. So I don't like this idea that like, oh, we're left out because you can't play the new thing. As much as I kind of in jest talked about, you know, being able to afford certain things and all that kind of stuff now, I'm gonna be y'all can vouch for this. I'm mostly playing old shit. Like vast majority of the time. Last year, most of my time, even though it's not old, but majority of my time was spent playing KOF 15. That's not the most recent fighting game. You know, I could have been playing Street Fighter 6. I could have been playing Tekken 8 or whatever. But I was just ranking up in KOF. Because that's what was fun to me. My PC can handle Street Fighter 6 and all these other games. The Fritos. Bro, get off the League community, bro. Hey, relax on my League people, man. Relax on the League, please. They valid. Now I've heard bad things about the League community, but you get what I'm saying. Everybody is game. Everybody is considered gaming. You know what I'm saying? Zimron. Zimron, that's a wild question. What's your general thoughts on the Switch? Wait, actually, is that a wild question? I think I've expressed a lot of my thoughts on it. The elitism is one of the many reasons I don't like the term gamer. 1000%. I agree. Let's wrap this up. Let me turn on the volume. Now, everybody thought this was Bloodborne. We're gonna kind of speed through this just to get to the gameplay. But I don't really care about all this. Now, this is a multiplayer game, apparently. Are we interested in this? Are we playing this? I like the art style. I like all of the art styles for FromSoft games, even though I don't play them except Armored Core. They have good art direction.
Close your eyes and contemplate.
So is this multiplayer in the way that a Night Rain is, or is this multiplayer in the way that like all Souls games are multiplayer, where your players are kind of there in your world and stuff? Did he transform to a dino? Oh, it's another Night Rain thing. Transform to a dinosaur. That's so... She's cool.
The moon tears will flow for one, and one alone.
They saying P versus E. Wait. Frostnix, I don't know. Titty Toad got a ring to it. That's wild. What is P versus E? I don't... Player versus environment. Why is it two Ps?
What you just saw was a brand new game.
It's
by
an
From
extraction game like Tarkov.
We'll be publishing a creator's voice article where the game's director, Hidetaka Miyazaki, will share more details about the game. so please check it
You'll
out. when
fight
it's
other
available.
players and NPC enemies.
That's all from our publishing and development partners. We'd like to thank the developers who appeared today.
As a longtime
as well as
Nintendo
our
fan,
publishing
it's
and
actually amazing that we're at the point where Nintendo just gets like good third-party support. That's pretty much most of the direct. But yeah, like that's one of the more interesting parts about this too. Is like we're long past. I think the era of Nintendo not getting third-party support is officially over now. I think it's done. Now let me ask y'all a couple questions. On that note, do y'all think that third-party ports are going to be day and date with Switch now, with Switch 2? Do we think third-party, or are we still going to get late ports? Anything that can run on the Steam Deck is going to run on the Switch. Yeah, it's over. You sure? Yeah. I think they're setting that expectation for sure. Frostniks, hella late ports. After this year, day and date. Yeah, that's a big question. And I really wonder if we're going to get same day ports. I think the era of bad ports is gone, but I still wonder if there's some kind of protocol that third-party developers got to go through in order to get like their games on the platform. Ooh, Ashes, that's a good question. Will GTA 6 be on Switch too? Amala Network says, I think we're gonna. Ooh, Amala Network, Shin Megami Tensei fan, I think. But I think we're gonna get Switch exclusivity and ports later. Yeah, that's possible. Cloud GTA 6 is crazy. No Atlas game reveals was definitely interesting. Yeah, I was surprised we didn't see like Metaphor. That would have been a good one to put on there. GTA 6 on Switch 2 would go crazy. Yeah, the existence of the PC handhelds like Steam Deck kind of puts this conversation about same day ports up in the air now. Because now the Switch 2 is better than... Am I wrong on saying this? I'm not trying to start a war. The Switch 2 has higher specs than the Steam Deck. Is it safe to say that? I think that's safe to say. So now, if stuff is running on Steam Deck and not Switch 2, that would be kind of, something else is going on then. We don't have official specs yet. Yeah, so I guess we got to wait. From what I hear, SF6 runs like crap on Steam Deck, so presumably Switch 2 is stronger for this port. LJ, from what I heard, it will be like the other Soul. Oh, you're talking about Soul still. Yeah, I'm not okay. And then the second question after the third party question. Second question, do we think with all these things we discussed today with the Switch 2 pricing, the game pricing, the launch games that are going to be available, do we think the Switch 2 is going to do well out the gate? Do we think the Switch 2 is going to do well out the gate? Frostnik said she don't know. Nintendo's too big. It will do fine. Absolutely. Do we think it's going to do better than the Switch or worse? That's a question. I think it's going to do... I don't think it's going to do better than Switch 1. I don't think it's going to do better than Switch 1. I think we have a 3DS situation where it's going to do slightly... It's going to be slightly less successful than the Switch 1, but it's not going to do bad. But I don't think it's totally because of what they're doing with the Switch 2. I think it's also like the economy, and I do still think also though that it's going to be hard to find at launch. The other thing too, we didn't talk about this. Let me see if I can find this. No, I can't find it. Let me I'll just pull it up on the browser. But the pre-order situation, it was kind of mentioned earlier, but this, y'all saw what they're doing with the pre-orders. Why can't I find it? Someone might have to link me, but oh, I found it. So basically, you have to be a Nintendo Switch Online member to pre-order from Nintendo directly. And you have to have been a Nintendo Switch Online member for 2 consecutive years or something like that. What are the launch titles? Icy Hot says the for 1 year. Okay. Not 2 consecutive years, just for 1 year. They're not going too crazy with it. Even though I'm a official Nintendo fanboy, because I definitely been subscribed for 2 years. So they better pick me first. Pre-orders, scalpers. That's definitely going to help with the scalping situation, though. Yeah, here it is. I found it. Here it is. Look at this. Has been a Nintendo Switch Online member for at least 2 years continuously by March 30. I'm sorry. There's always someone, when I would be in school, there would always be someone who could barely read. And actually, that's not nice to say. But y'all know that those people in class where they would read like, has been a Nintendo Switch Online member for at least 2 years continuously. But y'all remember those people? At least you're getting the words out. At least you're reading. The cat and the hat. Exactly, Rossums. Exactly. Frostniks, that one person. Yeah. Not the stop and start. Yeah. Hachibo, to be fair, I think Steam Deck is due for a new console. Let's talk about that. I also think one interesting thing about some of the stuff that I've been seeing people talk about online, and I'm not going to call people hypocrites or whatever, because at the end of the day, I just want what's best for everybody. But I've seen people kind of have a panic attack about what they're potentially doing with the cartridges. There was misinformation being spread around about Nintendo Switch 2 cartridges not having the data on disk. When pretty much when you really break it down, the Switch 2 game key cards that don't have the data on disk, that is actually a good thing that they're just being transparent about it now. Because for one, on the other platforms and even the Switch 1, you didn't know whether the cartridge you were getting was going to have the game on disc or if it was just going to be the full game. But now for Switch 2, they tell you. They're like, okay, Bravely Default, for example, doesn't have the game on the disc. But Donkey Kong and Mario Kart do. So it's only for some games. that aren't. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, sell exactly. Only some games aren't going to have the data. So now they're just telling you like this game doesn't have the data, so you can just avoid it, as opposed to it being like, oh, okay, I'm buying this thinking it's actually a physical when it's not. So actually, the whole thing that people have been in a panic attack about is actually a good thing. It's like, yes, tell us this isn't on the disc. Thank you. At first, I was about to come here and give a different speech because I thought what Nintendo was doing was they were going to make every game not have data on the cartridge. I thought that's what was happening, but that's actually not what's happening. It's not every game. It's only some games, which is like how it's always been. The only difference now is that they're telling you. So we're in the clear. We're good. I was going to come here and give a different speech, but we're good now. We're straight. We still got physical media. We're still safe, y'all. Trap Lord Huey, I think that is godlike because essentially it's turning some of the digital only games into physical games, if I'm understanding. Yes, yeah, it's actually, Nintendo is also very bad at explaining things, because some of the things that they explain that are actually, that people think is bad is actually good. And then some of the things that they're explaining that they're trying to make appear good is actually bad. You know? So they're weird about communication sometimes, but yeah, the game key card thing, that's the situation, y'all. If you just got here, to wrap that up, we still have physical games. It's just that now Nintendo tells you when there's no data on the disc. That's the only difference. That is the only difference, is that they tell you if there's no data on the disc. But otherwise, there's still going to be physical games that have data on the disc, just like before. You know? I don't think they told Nathan, I don't think they said it outright beforehand. I think they would say something like, this needs to download, and they would say have some kind of text where like, oh, this needs an update to run, but it wouldn't be like very clear, like, oh, you have game key cards and you have regular physical games. We now have like a clear labeling. Good, it's good. It's mostly positive. So yeah, that scared me for a second. Now, the second thing I wanted to talk about before we wrap this up is that I feel like the PC handheld space has actually kind of had like a reverse effect on how Nintendo Switch 2 is approaching things. I think actually the things that Steam Deck and ROG Ally and all these things have gotten away with actually enabled the Switch 2 to get away with certain things. So I don't know. I feel like now the Switch 2 can kind of position itself as like, oh, we're just another PC handheld. We don't have to play by the same rules as PS5 and Xbox. Y'all get what I'm saying? So it's kind of funny. Like the fact that I'm not even trying to do this as like a gotcha moment thing, but the fact that people praise the Steam Deck for a lot of the things it did means that the Switch 2 can kind of like come through and be like, oh, so y'all fine with the Steam Deck having an LCD screen, the initial Steam Deck. Oh, y'all are fine with it, you know, not having cartridges. Y'all are fine with that. So if we do something a little bit better, y'all be straight, right? Because on paper, if you look at Steam Deck versus the Switch 2, other than the emulation stuff, Switch 2 is like it's the better deal. It's the better deal. And y'all were fine with the Steam Deck. So I'm just interested in some of the people who were praising the Steam Deck. Yeah, rate and hate. Yeah, the Steam Deck didn't sell that well, but I'm just talking about amongst the crowd that were praising the Steam Deck. Amongst those people, what is it about the Switch 2 that, you know, is so drastically worse? I guess the games. That's true. DeFritos, you're correct. You're correct. Having to pay for the games. That's fair. But there's other advantages, like, you know, having physicals and stuff like that. But no, I feel you. The price of the games. The price of the first party games. Let's be specific. Because Bravely Default is $40 or whatever. So, but yeah. I do feel like the Steam Deck kind of put Nintendo in an interesting position. You know, where I think Nintendo can be more aggressive about certain things. That's my opinion. Yeah. And Steam Deck is not casual friendly. Yeah. When are people going to realize that most gamers are console wars in the Steam Deck? That's the thing. Frostnix, that is also why I never liked when people positioned the Steam Deck against the Switch. I never agreed with that. If I were to get a Steam Deck, it would not be to replace my Switch. It would be so that, like, oh, I want to play KOF on the go. You know, or I want to play this PC game that I started on my PC. I want to be able to take this with me. But saying like, oh, this is to replace the Switch, it's too bulky to even replace the Switch. I don't like, for all intents and purposes, it's a laptop situation. So, yeah, I never understood that. But what I'm talking about is among the people who kept comparing the Steam Deck to the Switch, to the Switch or whatever. Now I'm just wondering, like, okay, are y'all still gonna do that? Are y'all still gonna be making those comparisons? It's just interesting. It's interesting to think about. I still can't believe how scummy they went with the next gen upgrades and first party game prices. They peeped Sony's approach with the PS5 and doubled down on both. Yeah. I think Nintendo said, like, hey, Sony can get away with doing it with these like dry ass first party games. Let's add a little couple dollars on that. That's the part that I'm gonna be honest with y'all. That's the one part about all this that I'm disappointed in. I thought that we will be able to just pop in our Switch games and have performance boosts. I don't like all this, like, oh, you need to upgrade for this. I don't like all that. I wanted to just pop in my Switch 1 copy of Xenoblade Chronicles X and get 60 frames. But now I gotta wait for updates and all this kind of stuff, like, and keep track of like, oh, did this game get an update yet? Can I do the upgrade pack and all this kind of stuff? But I get it. I guess there's limitations on how they could do that or whatever. But that is my main. Everything else, I'm like, I can swap, pause. But everything else I can handle. I can bear the brunt of all that. But the backwards compatibility situation, I just, you know, I didn't like it. Yeah, DeFritos. Yeah, I get it. I get is how games are developed. I know they couldn't find a way around it, like on a universal level, but oh, Nate and Hate, that's what we need to talk about. Let's talk about this, and then we're gonna wrap this up. Let me show you something. Let me show y'all something. This is actually what they meant by some games aren't compatible. Y'all, this is a list of some games that this is actually crazier than we thought, y'all. It is actually crazier than we thought. This is a list of games. Yeah. It's not just IR and all that. Some games are straight up just not going to be compatible, bro. Some games are straight up just not going to be compatible. That is the other thing that's kind of disappointing about the backwards compatibility situation. I saw that earlier today. That's why I'm saying y'all need to go back and read read everything on the interviews and all that. Because yeah, man, it's not looking good. Yeah, I don't know if did y'all see all of that? I'm about to take it off. Pause again. Okay. Yeah, this is a better view. Nintendo Switch games that start up on Switch 2 but include some in-game compatibility issues. Alan Wake Remastered, Alien Isolation, Dust and Elysian Tale. Oh, I haven't heard. Fall Guys. Yeah, it's rough, man. Yes, Frostnix. This is a PS3, PS2 type situation. Yep. So this is like PS3 type emulation. This isn't like how PS5 and Xbox Series are doing it. This is definitely PS3. Because I think they made the Switch 2 from the ground up. No, that's not correct. Okay, what is it, Lucy? Oh, wait, Lucy, you want to hop on right quick? The Switch 2 uses the same ARM architecture. Okay, we're gonna have Switch 2. We're gonna have Lucid. Where's he at? Where's he in here? Let me look for him. Yeah. So that's the backwards compatibility situation. Let me see. Is he on? Is he on? Oh, what's up, man?
What's happening? What's up,
bro? Explain the backwards compatibility situation. What's going on?
Okay, I can't do like a perfect explanation because there's a lot I don't completely know yet that we all don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest issue with the Switch 2, the biggest issue with the Switch 1, and I don't want to say too much because I know Nintendo, like, they're gonna realize how I know this, but the Switch 1, the way they handled the graphics card on the Switch 1 was devs were coding kind of directly to the graphics card. Like, modern consoles, people don't know, but modern consoles are not to the metal like they used to be. Like, like DS, PS2, all that, like, the games were coded directly to the hardware.
Yeah.
Like, this time around, like, they're all in what we call a hypervisor. So it's like the system kind of like irons out the differences. Like, so, the game is coded to like a fake console. That's why, like, you hear about like, oh, this console has 8 gigs of RAM, but games only use 7. That's the hypervisor, like, lying to the game. So the Switch 1, while it had one of those, the graphics card wasn't like as obfuscated. Like a lot of the games, like, deadass just talk to the graphics card. And I remember somebody put me on to this. That's why I can't want to say too much. And basically, like the textures and stuff like that in Switch 1 games are like all like literally to that graphics card, like to the T. Like people have been kind of toying with it, like especially in the hacker community. They'd figure out like, yo, if you buy an NVIDIA Shield and you do this and that, the Switch games just like talk to the same graphics card. We just can't get the rest running. So that's why like certain emulators, which Nintendo probably started picking up on, they probably got to a point where they were like, yo, this just runs Switch games full speed, perfect emulation, everything, almost like a FPGA, like just it's the same hardware. So
damn.
So yeah, so one of the problems that people in that community noticed, they were like, yo, if Nintendo makes a new Switch, then we're gonna have a problem with like migrating the graphics card side. That's my guess. Because again, I don't know. They might have other issues, but the Switch 2 is just ARM based. Like especially like like if they're playing like GameCube and stuff, they actually have to run an emulator.
Yeah,
but they don't have to. Like the emulator is not. So emulators usually mean you're recreating the CPU and just translating it to a different CPU. They don't have to do that for Game Boy Advance, for DS, for 3DS, because all of those are ARM. It's the same architecture. So the Switch, so it's the same thing for Switch 1 to Switch 2. It's the same architecture. They're not actually switching it up. It's not really emulation. That's the same reason why the hackers already got a PS4 emulator out, and they're already working on an Xbox One emulator. It's the processor on your PC is the same as the Xbox or PS4. So yeah, you only actually have to emulate like PS3 was the last generation you have to emulate of like the hardcore consoles. So
that's interesting. Yeah. Damn, dude. So
it's one of those issues. Sorry.
You're the spec guy. You're the spec guy. I have everybody has like a guy label or a girl label. It's like you're either you're the spec guy. Mr. SU is the RPG guy. Kiruse is Xenoblade X and Yakuza guy. But no. Yeah. What did you from like a hardware standpoint? Are you impressed with the Switch 2?
I saw it coming. That was the one I saw. I remember when the first rumors came out about the specs, and they were like, "Oh, it's gonna be 16 gigs of RAM. It's gonna have ray tracing. It's gonna have like all this stuff." And people were like, "No way, it's impossible." And I was the one dude fighting mad people on Twitter, like, "No, it's completely possible to do that right now." And that was like 2-3 years ago. And everybody was like, "Nah, there's no way." And then the new iPad Pro came out, and it had that. And I was like, you see? And people were still writing it off. Like, nah, no way Nintendo's going to do that at that price point. And I said, yo, in 2-3 years, the price of that is going to go down. Like, how long does it take Nintendo to get a cheaper version of these same chips? And people just kept saying, like, nah, there's no way. So I was the one dude. The only thing I'm waiting for that I was wrong, well, I don't know if I was wrong about it because I still think it might happen, is the second screen. I still think the second screen's possible. I don't.
After they showed that camera, I'm like, oh, they're gonna do stuff. They're gonna get peripheral crazy. I think that that's still on the table. That's still on the table. Nah, for sure, man, for sure. Yeah, I feel like you're also like a one game guy. So I don't even know if you're getting to Switch 2 anytime soon. You're like, oh, I got Destiny. I'm good. I'm good for a little bit.
Yeah, I just leave Destiny open half of the time. I'm not even really playing it as much as people think. But I don't know. My wife wants to get it. She was talking about Mario Kart. She was like, oh, we will play it, blah blah blah. But I know I'm the type of guy, a lot of games, I kind of grind them to a pace. So I'll get on Mario Kart, unlock everything, figure out everything, and then I'll just stop playing. I'll be back on Destiny.
That feels like your vibe. I like how everybody has like different like classes. There's different classes of gamers, like how there's different classes in RPGs, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so yeah.
Oh yeah, Eclipse said Destiny until Mecha Break, right? Yeah, I'm gonna be back on Mecha Break. I was playing with Eclipse, and we were beating the hell out of people. It was kind of unfair. It didn't even make sense.
I need to get on that. I need to get on that.
I actually recorded one match. I played with him, and it was ugly as hell. We literally beat like one team. It was like 98-0, and they had to push, like both sides had to push this like thing, and I just blocked them. I just stayed against, like, sitting right on the spot, and I had this like heavy arms looking setup. So I just like locked in, and every time people came to try and push their thing, I'm just like shooting like all their teammates and wiping them out while they were fighting the other guys pushing the payload.
I
So it
need
was
to
just
get
the
on
most
that.
unfair thing.
I need to get on Mecha Break. We
So-
gotta play. We gotta play. We gotta play. Nah, well,
Yeah, it's-
Kirusei got a question for you though. He said, "Do you think whatever DLSS equivalent the Switch 2 has is doing the heavy lifting of performance?"
Yeah, yeah. I think the hardware, well, it's guaranteed. The hardware definitely does 4K native, but it just doesn't make any sense to do that. So you just chalk it up to DLSS. It's the same thing I do with my Steam Deck. Steam Deck has like it has the AMD one. It's not machine learning based, but it's
FSR?
upscale stuff.
FSR?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just turned that on now, and I'm like, oh, this is great. Like, it looks good. I can't tell the difference. I don't really care. As long as it looks good, you know. I think too many people get caught up in like trying to get the Steam Deck to run perfectly, and I'm like, nah, turn it down to like PS2 graphics and then
There
turn on FSR.
Hey, that's what I be doing on PC, bro. I'm like, nah, I'm trying to like undershoot. Y'all want me to push my shit till it's screaming? Nah, bro.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I've played around with Cyberpunk on the Steam Deck where I got it looking amazing on the TV, but the frame rate, like turning it down, I was like, nah, I don't like the frame rate like this. Like, I ended up changing it around. So I was like, if it looks like PS2, but I get the 60 frames, because you feel it in that game. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's all I need.
Yeah, yeah. That's real. Man.
Yeah.
Okay, man. Like, thank you for coming through, man. Like, I always
Oh,
like
yeah,
hearing
thank you
hearing
for
the
having
tech.
me.
Yeah. All right.
I'm gonna see if I can find that. I'll share it on Twitter, the thing I said about the graphics card thing on the Switch, because
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
somebody
yeah.
publicly had said it. I can't talk about the people privately who said it, you know what I mean? But yeah.
Yeah. All right, man.
Yep.
All right, peace. Y'all. Whoo! That was crazy. We went for this is the longest stream we've ever done. 3 hours and 30 minutes. I appreciate y'all for coming through. Thanks for the follow, Rayman SMT. We're gonna get along because I'm a Shin Megami Tensei fan also. We actually, for the first time, hit 100 concurrent across both, not on any singular one, but yeah, it was 50 on YouTube, 50 on Twitch. So new milestones. I'm glad y'all came through, man. New video next week, because this week was you know what it was, Nintendo stuff. We got more Nintendo stuff tomorrow. So yeah, new video next week though. And again, I appreciate y'all coming through. We move, man. Great stream. Appreciate you, ZK. I'm gonna get to your friend request. Y'all, peace out. I got work tomorrow. Bye-bye.